Welcome to the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. I'm the big beefy boy, Shaz Beef, and today I'm joined by my old buck, Ushk, and the Kenny Omega of the quadruple bypass, Mr. Johnny Mortz.
It's like my stomach's in bits.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You did that joke last week, too.
All right, my
my
stomach's really in bits, and I don't think you're showing
You got the
proper adequate concern.
diverticulitis.
I have diverticulitis, which has obviously stopped my MMA career.
Well, like the tracks, two of the greatest wrestlers of all time had it.
Brock Lesnar and...
Brock and Kenny.
Would you put Brock in greatest wrestlers of all time?
Not in ring, like, but in terms of impact on the industry.
entire package.
You know what I mean? Like,
All right, fuck Forbidden Door. We're getting into this.
But this is actually a Brock Lesnar. No, Brock Lesnar.
No, well, they touched upon you saying they're the two greatest wrestlers of all time.
Two off.
JR said that twice. He goes, these two are the greatest wrestlers of all today.
Yeah.
And then he said it in the next match. But we'll get into that. It's a Forbidden Door review show today. These generally go on for a bit long, but we have a bit of business first.
Yeah.
Do you want to get into your unboxing?
Yeah, let's unbox.
Okay.
I can't remember what they are because I ordered them so long ago.
Okay.
And there also is one
Mystery.
I purchased a mystery t-shirt.
Is there one for everybody in the audience, is it?
No, they're all for me because I come down here every week and some of my wrestling shirts I can't wear anymore because of concerns regarding the performer.
So if there was one mystery t-shirt you got now that you absolutely wouldn't wear, who would it be?
I wouldn't want it to be Marty's girl.
Why not?
He is villain by name.
No, Voldemort.
Oh, Joey Ryan, I can see.
Oh, don't be Joey Ryan. That's a terrible one too. Oh yeah, first one, Mr. Brody Lee.
Ah, fantastic.
Very nice.
Yes.
Man, those new runners look really slick, don't they?
Would you wear them?
I would wear them.
wear the hell out of
them.
them.
We need to get, as old bucks, we need to get some. But show it to the camera. Don't show those.
There's Mr. Brody Lee.
Okay. That's a nice one. I'd wear
Mr.
that.
Brody Lee. Next,
How much did it cost you on imports?
Very little actually. After
Couple
I
of
paid,
thousands?
yeah, like
Couple of
few thousand euro. On after the shipping, it was only an extra €5.
No, that's not
That's
bad.
all I had to pay.
That's pretty tidy.
On post.
Oh, is this a white t-shirt on Cassidy, is it?
Yes, this is Orange Cassidy, one of my
You fucking AEW mark.
favorite.
Oh, the blood effect's pretty cool.
The blood effect in it. It's black and white T-shirt.
That's cool. I haven't seen that before.
Well, it's pro wrestling tees, so it's heavily AEW.
If you're listening on Spotify or anything like that, you can check out the visuals on YouTube right about now.
Apparently the merch
American
section
Dragon.
American Dragon,
Oh, yeah.
my favorite wrestler of all time, Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon.
The merch section at All In was fucking ridiculous.
The merch section at Forbidden Door just gone, which we will be talking about. Apparently was really limited. What the fuck are AEW doing with their t-shirts?
Is it-
All In was shocking as well.
That's the mystery one. I'm putting that there. I haven't seen it yet.
I like it. I seen it. I seen who
I
it
didn't
was.
see it. I don't know who
Joey
it is.
Ryan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Joey Ryan.
Here I got one of my current favorite wrestlers working today, Hangman Adam Page.
That is a fucking stellar cowboy
That
t-shirt.
is a stellar cowboy.
That looks
t-shirt.
like a t-shirt that you get if you're like going to Nebraska for the weekend.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but you can wear that in any state doing any job.
Yeah, I'm going to Nashville and I'm wearing that to
Fucking-
some cowboy place.
Going gambling in Vegas, that's the shirt I'm wearing.
100%.
Nashville's going to be the new
this
Vegas
is
now
the
because all the
mystery package.
musicians are doing country.
Oh, Sting! It's Sting! Okay, that's a sensational mystery package one. No, I'm never wearing that in public because his face is absolutely massive.
That's
wouldn't
beautiful.
you?
I can't see it.
Refit as a big mask that you can wear yourself on your head.
That's lovely.
That cost a tenner.
Nice.
Package is the way
Jesus,
to go.
to like order something that's a mystery and then to get Sting is quite apropos, I think.
That is amazing.
Like, that's on the ball.
Shout out Pro Wrestling Tees for a wonderful
He
mystery
always
pack.
shows up and you don't expect him.
There you
And
go.
a shout out to the Five Marks podcast because I got some goodies too. So the Five Marks are an Irish podcast. They do weekly controversies. They do some sit down interviews. You know, they're whoever they're the Von Erich Star Freebirds.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
That's
that.
I was trying to think of who's the Four Horsemen.
It's
Like
never a good hand to get to give to Von Erich to someone.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Oh no, I want to be a heel.
All right.
Naturally heel.
You've just hexed them, boys.
Oh yeah, sorry lads.
The curse.
I have. Anyway, they sent on some great, cool things for us for a while because, like, you know, some people would be asking me about all this stuff in the back. It's all movies. We are a production company, so the movies that like the other guys in Diceman Productions look after. But
No wrestling movies, though.
no wrestling,
wrestling movie.
But we do have a signed Trent 7 now.
Nice. That
That's
is
pretty-
top class.
That's pretty good. No, that was not going to go there, but it'll be there somewhere.
some
We'll get,
blue section.
we'll get a little frame for it. And this one I love, right? He was going, does anybody want this? I'm not really too familiar with this gentleman, and I'm like, we're a bit older, so.
Oh my god! I was going to say, like, I was looking at the bottom of it from here, and I was like, "Is that One Man Gang?"
That is
entirely
awesome.
One Man Gang.
It's
Fuck yes, One Man Gang.
Signed Akeem.
Now you can't denigrate him with Akeem.
I love
that's-
Akeem.
That's the proper, like,
We gave him a lot of praise.
One Man Gang.
We gave him a lot of praise, I think, on was it the tag team podcast, perhaps, or one of them?
Akeem.
Yeah.
The Twin
Fair's to
Towers.
Akeem, but like that man's best gimmick was One Man Gang.
It was,
all the
yeah.
way.
With the Twin Towers we were talking about.
We did, yeah.
And we give a Big Boss Man a big shout out on the last podcast.
We did.
So, thank you so much to the 5 Marks. Go check him out on all the social channels. We're a big fan of the Golden One, Rob Gold, and all the boys over there doing great work with Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling. And if you're looking to support Irish wrestling as well, Boots Murphy just released some merch. I think I could have been the first one to pick it up.
Nice.
Is it Boots?
It's not Boots.
Did you buy boots from Boots?
I didn't buy boots from Boots, no. He should, though. He should sell his boots.
His own
You
boot.
should get a card. You should get a Boots card.
He should get, Reebok.
And
Gone to Boots.
You just can, tot up on your merch. You
Yeah.
get something nice for free.
Man,
Really
I'm
young
buzzing
bucks.
with I'm
Boost.
buzzing
They're-
with this.
they're unbelievable.
A one-man gang signed autograph.
We popped fucking hard for One Man Gang there, didn't we?
did,
Trent
did,
7
yeah.
comparatively.
I like Trent
I
Seven.
like Trent 7.
I like Trent 7. I'm just saying, he didn't get the pop that One Man Gang did.
No, it's known as the One
who
Man Gang
would?
pop.
It's up in the wall. It's. Lads, you carry on the podcast while I sort this out.
Okay, Forbidden Door, 20 whatever of
2024.
June 2024.
The third Forbidden Door?
Third iteration of the Forbidden Door. This time also not just featuring New Japan, with CMLL.
And yet still crucially feeling like more than any other Forbidden Door, the most AEW plus special guests
It was very
it's
much
ever felt.
Yes, and they added CMLL and Stardom.
Yeah.
Which
Which is positive.
also, while we're kind of Shane is putting on the wall
I
there.
think I got him up there.
Nice. Oh,
Shane, you did great.
Thanks
did a
very
great
much,
job.
boys.
They also announced New Japan's Wrestle Dynasty, 5th of January in the
Right,
Tokyo Dome.
I wanted to get into that, right? Because are they doing that because AEW just blew everyone out of the water at this bit, and New Japan were like, we need some fucking wins back, boys.
It's not even wins. I think it's business is down for New Japan, which we'll get to the main event or co-main event. Business is down for New Japan. The economy is down massively. I think they're worried
Welcome
about.
to the Economics of Japan podcast.
Yeah, it's down 37%.
You should call it WrestleNomics. Oh, no.
Oh, there is.
Jesus.
Shit, yeah, damn.
Anyway.
TM. Business down for New Japan. They're having big trouble with their roster at the moment in terms of the rate of turnover of big stars. I think they're worried about Tokyo Dome sales for their traditional January 4th show.
Isn't that your nickname?
Tokyo Dome, yeah. I'm in a wrestling group. and
Which
they
is
refer to me as
mad
Tokyo
because
Dome.
one guy started giving a shit on on TikTok.
The guy on TikTok clearly hasn't watched the full episode and listened to me bring up Misawa and Kawada, like literally.
Like a little Eddie Kingston.
I'm like a little Eddie Kingston here. Like my favourite YouTuber is that Joseph Monticello guy.
Don't even know who that is. You
He's awesome. He does
fucking hipster.
a lot of old video essays on All Japan the 90s.
Oh, I know who he is. Yeah.
He's awesome. And
He did one on Terry Gordy there recently. It
he
was
did,
amazing,
he does, and he does a lot of different Japanese promotions from the 90s as well that are defunct or out of business now. Not Terry Funked, defunct. He has ones on Terry Funk as well, though.
Terry Funk is.
So
also
he's
defunct.
your favorite wrestling YouTuber?
Video essayist.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you want to check
Except
out
for-
some of our video
except for you,
essays
Shane.
on this, not even me, our channel.
That are also good.
Yeah, they're excellent as well. Anyway, I think a big part of it is they need to bring in these companies now, this year in particular, because their own Tokyo Dome show on January 4th isn't going to be as big as previous years. They don't have the stars, they don't have the draws.
Why would they continue working with AEW then? Is it because AEW are picking off their stars?
It's their only avenue to still have access to a lot of their former stars.
like Ibushi.
he's toast.
I know he's crocked, but Ibushi, Jay White, Okada, Osprey, Mercedes, in a way.
I think with the exception of Mercedes and maybe Osprey, like everyone else had hit their ceiling in New Japan, and I don't think it's AEW's fault or the performers' fault necessarily that these people would want, to be in a fresh league for a couple of years
And also-
try something different.
But they're not.
It's the economics as well. It's like New Japan can't afford now to pay Okada what his market value is.
Fair enough, but
previously they could have.
If AEW want to work in relationship with them, similar to what they did with Jack Perry, send them Wardlow.
They should be sending more people.
I think more of this is going to happen.
Well,
I think,
Takeshita is going for the G1.
yeah, I think it's mutually beneficial both ways, and
because you had Mox, you had Eddie Kingston, they were all recent.
but New Japan are plugging the gaps. I mean, I don't think like fucking Nick Nemeth or
Matt Riddle
was a game changer in any way, or promised very, very much, and they do need to plug the ship with half foreign stars.
Yeah. That's why they put the title on Moxley for a while, you know.
Do what you did with A-Train over there in Japan with Wardlow. Like, just make him a monster.
They love their big, strong
They love
foreign
their
heels.
occasions.
There's a lot of people who I don't think AEW would benefit from massively, but I think New Japan could,
And if you make New Japan stronger, therefore it makes your Forbidden Door stronger if you keep going with that.
I mean, someone like he's recently released, but someone like Donovan Dijak going over,
He would
there
be
could be a
perfect.
game changer for
I
him.
thought he was going to
would
show
be
up at
perfect.
Forbidden Door.
And I think
to be honest.
he does need a leveling up that I don't think he's going to be able to really get in AEW.
No, it's too...
I think him in New Japan would be,
guys,
that's the place for
if
him.
Guys go over there for a year, have a solid year or two, and I know it's going to be hard for Americans to go over to Japan and stuff, but like you build your name over there. Lesnar did it after WWE. He went to New Japan.
But also you put the final
AJ
piece.
Styles.
Yeah, I mean, but even someone like Umaga, who had he had the run he had over there for 2 years when he got released from WWE the first time, and then when he came back, he was able to be Umaga, and he was immediately, like, in terms of in-ring talent, like top level performer.
A year
Matt
over
Bloom
there for Dijak would be...
Yeah, be a game changer.
Matt Bloom, yeah, A-Train.
Matt Bloom was a fucking beast, in his Japanese run, and he had like he came back the best he ever was, but he got absolutely
Saddled
he got
with
Vince
McMahon, yeah.
He got 10
he was a year away from wearing fucking lingerie and dancing with Scotty 2
And he was with Brodus Clay.
Yeah.
Just wanted we put a question out to a few people and we'll pick up on them as we get to the points. But as we're at the start of the show, before the show, I am with Toza, who is someone who used to listen to the Football Manager Football Show podcast that myself and Ken McGuire used to do.
Great podcast.
But massively into wrestling, was a frequent person at ECW in the ECW arena. He used to say, like, send me pictures and stuff. He streams, but I am Watoza on Twitter. He messaged in a few things, but the first one before the show, he thought was a bit shite that historic AAA CMLL tag team was put on the pre-show.
This is my first point. Yeah, that it was a main show. Like, you're putting Mystico with the Lucha Bros, who Lucha Bros are traditionally AAA talent. Mystico, obviously has been and is the top guy in CMLL Arena Mexico on Friday nights. Like, that was it. That's a historical moment. Whatever we talk about wars in wrestling, WWE, WCW, WWE, AEW, they pale in comparison to the hatred between AAA and CMLL. Like, I mean, like, they absolutely despise each other on a nuclear level. And to see Mystico team with two, I know they're not signed to AAA at the moment, but two Mexican talent that are known as AAA guys was insane. It's probably the biggest achievement Tony has in the whole Forbidden Door thing, is to have that happen and to have it on the pre-show. Now, I have heard some arguments for it that I thought was a fantastic match. It was the only pre-show match I watched for that reason.
I didn't watch it.
It was an excellent party match, and it was coming up to the time where if you hadn't purchased the pay-per-view, it's starting in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I think it ended.
Would it make you buy the pay-per-view?
It was. I thought, like, it was so good. I was like, that is a wonderful advertisement for purchasing the pay-per-view. I had already had a purchase, so it didn't, it wasn't going to change things for me.
But also,
for someone else.
But the flip of that as well is they use like 5 matches to sell that. Like, they have 5 matches altogether on 0 hour.
That's a WWE pay-per-view.
And it's like
Yeah.
And I know that was probably one of the biggest ones in terms of attracting an audience. But if you're going to be attracting an audience, particularly in Mexico, like, it's not like you're giving them a lot of really good CMLL content on the main show as well.
I know.
I mean, they were represented, but they
Most
didn't
of it
shine.
was on the most of the CMLL talent were on the
Pre-show.
0 hour.
And are they
pre-show,
going to appreciate it?
Very
just to have it. Thank you. Just having the, that thing to showcase on American television. Is AEW like?
It's showcased on fucking YouTube. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
AAA are like AAA got more, I think, out of the AEW relationship than CMLL will, for the simple reason that AAA operate more. They try and sell themselves more to the American audience than CMLL do anyway. CMLL are super hot at the moment. They're selling out Arena Mexico every Friday night, basically. Now, one of the biggest houses they did recently in terms of money was when Danielson went down. So they're obviously getting
Blue
that
Panther?
out of it too.
Blue Panther.
Yeah,
It was a
And
cracker.
of a match. Like Blue Panther's what, 62?
63, I think, yeah.
And they made a shitload of cash for that Blue Panther Danielson match, and also when Bullet or not Bullet Club,
Bang Bang.
Blackpool Combat Club did the
But they've actually they've been working a well-featured TV program with CMLL
on
wrestlers
both sides of the border.
last couple of weeks.
So they are getting something out of it. The AAA tend to put on more shows in around California area anyway. So when they were aligned with AEW, it probably helped them more. And Kenny Omega went down, did their top title for a while, and that kind of got ruined by COVID. So it's I wonder what are CMLL getting out of it, because they don't really try and break into the American market anyway. So in my mind, I was like, I don't really get what they're getting out of it. But I suppose they could probably go to somewhere in Texas.
It's a payday though for
It is a
guys
pay-
as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
I think just for the perception of, Lucha Libre is obviously fucking massive in Mexico. Like it's bigger there than wrestling is in any other.
Yeah, culturally,
It's
more so much embedded into our culture.
Yeah, it's there. But I mean, the exposure for the company, just in terms of like working on a top tier card with some of the best American talent.
Yeah. Getting Danielson and Moxley and Claudio down there to Arena Mexico is huge.
Yeah,
as well.
that stuff is. It's good for getting eyes on them.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, that's made important.
And they're available fully on YouTube, but like a small subscription. You don't have to be messing around with like streaming services or anything.
Okay.
You can watch CMLL on YouTube.
Well, would you watch CMLL after the very first match that opened Forbidden Door?
Hechicero versus MJF.
Yes.
Uh,
Did you notice it was complete darkness for Hechicero's entrance? Like when he came out, it was.
they gave him the superstar entrance.
Yeah,
I
I vibed so hard with his fucking entrance. I thought it was
was
great.
that a purposeful thing? I'm not too familiar with him, but when he came out, his whole body was in shadow. I was like, I couldn't see him.
Yeah, that's the wizard thing.
But that's the thing. They kind of presented him again as this kind of wrestling fucking warlock.
Yeah. Warlock.
Did we reference wrestling warlock recently? Who was? Oh yeah, sorry, Mordecai.
Mordecai, the wrestling
AKA
warlock.
Kevin Thorne, the wrestling warlock. Hechicero, also a wrestling warlock.
Yeah, all right. So he's a warlock, but he's doing house show shit with MJF.
It was a very house show match.
It was not the ideal match. I think maybe either of those guys could have had. Hechicero should have absolutely been in the TNT ladder match.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
He would have been a fantastic addition to that, and it would have we'll get to that match later and my opinions on it. But I think Hechicero would have been definitely way better suited to that, and just have
This is what MJF was doing.
Shota Umino, there's good, like Gabe Kidd was on fucking Rampage. It's there's good wrestlers in the New Japan roster.
That's why I asked. Where are the War Dogs? Where's Jill Maloney and stuff?
If you had 2 or 3 weeks to build fucking Gabe Kidd and MJF, everybody would be talking.
That would have been monstrous.
Maybe they didn't want to give something like that away too soon. But fuck,
MJF, he's done this shit now with Adam Cole and stuff. He's doing house show kind of stuff. Remember, he was saying there's going to be no kangaroo kicks and none of that stuff. But he's posing like Macho Man or Rick Rude and whatever. He's just doing hokey stuff.
What annoyed me about it as well is this wasn't a bad match.
No, it wasn't.
This was fine. It wasn't AEW pay-per-view opener standard compared to what they
is this
generally
an MJF
deliver.
endemic
I'm going to get more
because he has a main event style, and then he has this.
I think
style.
this ties into the main event though, and we'll get to that.
He's
one.
watching the main event.
Not even that.
Did you think it was a bad match or something?
No, I didn't think it was a bad match. I thought it was a fine match. I just didn't think it was placed right on the card. And also, I thought MJF needed to do less shtick. Like he did that match with Roosh a couple of weeks ago, where Roosh beat the ever-loving shit out of him. That was a fantastic match. That's what this should have been. And it wasn't.
It kind of built up, it ramped up. You had the corner on the outside. You had Hetriso doing a class corner in the corner of the ring. Then you had the pile driver.
Yes.
Which I was like, I always pop for a pile driver. Absolutely love it. You had the pretty cool submission. I'd never seen that before, and I was like, okay, MJF is selling his arm pretty well.
And I thought MJF actually gave Hechicero quite a lot of offense.
Do you think so?
I thought Hechicero had a ton of fantastic offense and really got to shine in it.
I popped for Taz and the Jordan Grace reference. but then they kept
they
going
went
to
back
it.
to it 10 times.
Yeah, the trademark thing. But yeah, overall, it started off with the hometown boy. You know, he was in the Mets top. He was crowd
Unico.
surfing.
MJF.
Unico, yeah, it's Unico.
Hecro.
Hegaricio.
Well, Unico was the fake Sin Cara, wasn't he? Who became the real Sin Cara?
Here we fucking go. Coming back around to Mystico again.
Yeah.
Mystical.
Yeah, so Mystico was the original Sin Cara, and then the blue Sin Cara, or the black Sin Cara,
I think Karen Noir,
Sin Cara Noir, yeah.
as he was called.
he showed up, but that was Unico.
That was Unico. And then he got on masks.
And then Unico became Unico with Camacho, who's Tangaloa.
Yeah. And they rode a little tiny bike down to the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And then Unico became Sin Cara once again with...
When Mystico got fucking fired for...
breaking his thumb against Alberto
He just
Del
kept
Rio.
breaking shit.
Yeah.
He... Dude should have had a run in NXT, just iron a few bits out.
But that wasn't there, because like that was...
He became the cautionary tale of like luchadors in the 2010s.
And he was like the first Triple H signing. Him and
monster superstar.
Him and Awesome
Mexico.
Kong. And they both like just did not get over. Well, they would have gotten over, I'd imagine, if...
I thought Kong was pretty over in the limited segments she was given, but her whole run was just fucked.
At that stage,
She got pregnant,
I'm
though.
not sure what she really had left to offer. You know what I mean?
Shut up, she's Awesome Kong.
She is Awesome Kong. I know.
Yeah, but that'd be like saying, you know, like, I don't know what Brody coming in fucking 1989 would be like. You'd still want to see it.
Yeah,
You still want to see him
I'd have paid to watch
clobber
it.
Hogan a bit. Like,
Yeah, I would have enjoyed that massively.
The Panama Sunrise then.
Yeah, obviously they're going back at some stage to
Because some
the Adam
people
Cole
said that
thing.
Adam Cole thing was... it was done. It was almost like they wrote off the...
I said that on that review. And the way I kind of thought of it at the time was Adam Cole is a mile away from being healthy to wrestle. So when MJF kicked him in the nuts and did all that on his return, it looked like a feud ender. What I probably should have said it's over for now because we're not going to be able to get to it for months.
Yeah, I see what they're doing. I don't think it's good practice. I think if that's it,
I don't need to see.
I think all of they've kind of done. You know, they've done MJF, I think, and the Undisputed fucking Kingdom wrong completely, because if they wanted to keep that feud high, he was off television for 6 months.
Yeah,
Roddy Strong has had a really good run the last 6 months. He's really starting to fucking cool down. Wardlow's fucking ice cold. The Kingdom are lukewarm. Like
Luke cold.
The idea of MJF coming back, you know, with a little bit of the fucking late 97 Owen Hart in him, and like trying to wreck these guys for the next couple of months, and just let him have a feud with those fucking 4 dudes.
100. You fucking...
And make it hot and make him want to kill them all.
Streets
needs
of
to beat
Rage it.
Wardo- Wardo as well.
You Streets of Rage it, right?
Yeah, but like
he goes through every level until he gets to the final boss. He beats guys. If they beat him down, he starts again.
Also, like, if they're looking at Cole's timeline and going, how long more are you out for? And he's going, I'm out for 8 months. And it's like, okay, we're going to, like, MJF's back in fucking June. We're going to run MJF and the fucking Taven and Bennett. Get MJF a partner, get someone he can work with, you know, maybe put over, get him working with Taven and Bennett for a fucking month, then fucking move him on to Roddy Strong, then move him on to Wardlow. 2 months, like another MJF Wardlow program. It's as good a use of the two of them as anything else.
Fucking Kyle O'Reilly with MJF.
Kyle O'Reilly working. Perfect. We're booking, Jane. We're booking well.
We're booking.
And then eventually you try and time it to Adam Cole's eventual return.
And if Adam Cole doesn't return,
But
you fucking turn Kyle O'Reilly.
But you've invested so much capital in the storyline, because you've, like, the last 6 months of 2023 were all about this fucking
the
storyline. And it did culminate in a big reveal, and like MJF losing the longest title reign in AEW men's heavyweight title reign in like the company history. So that all should have stakes. MJF can fuck off after that, which he did, but he should come back.
I'm going to kill all these.
And he's like, fuck. He's like, Swerve's doing his thing. I'm not going to bother him.
Yeah. And
you're going, hey, what about the guys who made your life absolute fucking hell and turned you into a person who cries on television?
They opened you up and made you so vulnerable, and then cut you in the back. And
all of this, like all of his like OG bullying stories. And I know obviously you don't want to go to that well too much, but he's done such a good job of creating a sense of what fucking MJF is based on his history and things that have happened to him and things that have affected him as a child or as a young man, whatever. And he's done that, and he's not using
quarters.
Nobody wants to see sad, fucking miserable, fucking bullied MJF, but like. That should fuel angry, kick-ass, fucking vindictive, vengeful MJF.
Because he's coming out in the Triple H garb and everything.
And now he's wrestling fucking Hucanero and
Unico. He's wrestling Unico.
He's wrestling
Mystico.
He's wrestling the Warlock.
Yeah. But like in this match last year at Forbidden Door with Tanahashi, he's doing all that hokey shit again as well. You know, if you want to. We were talking about the development of Big Boss Man last week. If you want to evolve your character, don't go back to the well too much.
He needs to evolve
but also just like
shite though.
But also you can just like I'm fucking beating the same drum here as well. But like get a bit creative with your storylines. Like the thing that AEW fucking used to do up until about a year or fucking 18 months ago. Like
until he became champion.
Find a Japanese wrestler who's got a strong association with Adam Cole.
There's loads of them.
Play that.
Yeah.
And I'm working mini program there, and that ticks the boxes for Forbidden Door, keeps the feud lit. Just do something creative, like a long-term piece of storytelling where you don't have MJF just like yucking it around and doing, you know, fucking like fine matches, but there's no heat, there's no heft.
There was heat in the Rouge match, and then
there was a little bit of heat.
I don't know why that wasn't a pay-per-view match. Like you do Hechicero on TV, and then Rouge.
They could have so easily done MJF been discriminatory to Mexicans, and then just him getting shit kicked out by a couple of Mexican wrestlers for weeks.
Yeah.
Ideal. At least there's something in that.
Yeah, and this goes back to another thing that Watoza has said. About storylines. So he said it was a great show overall, but I wish AEW was better at storylines, especially for a show like this. I feel like a lot of the forbidden wrestlers came in cold and without momentum because the matches were now so late. That was probably due to confirming visas, though.
Possibly, yeah.
Hey, lads, you're 3 years in, you've done it better the first 3 years. Maybe, you know, the eyes are off the ball a little bit. I don't know. I'm not saying that this was a bad pay-per-view by any means. It was a fucking great pay-per-view.
Great pay-per-view. Fantastic pay-per-view.
I don't think they're maximising a lot of the potential for storylines within their own company, within the other companies.
Agreed. Now, we'll get into it more as we get along.
The less important you make that pay-per-view feel, it's going to become a chore every year.
On to the next match.
Okay,
I have huge issues with the next match.
Acclaimed Tanahashi versus the Elite. Now, the Elite had I'm not a big fan of the Young Bucks. I'm more about the Old Bucks.
I'm a huge fan of the Young Bucks.
What?
We're the Old Bucks.
We're the Old Bucks.
We started it by accident.
I'll be the fucking Jackson brother who decided
You're Kenny Omega,
who broke his jaw as a teenager and decided not to fucking wrestle.
You're
Kenny. Okay, you flattered me. Okay, I'll take that.
It was a funny enough opening promo that the Elite have made. About how bad the Acclaimed are and all that. And then I was like, in kayfabe, like, why don't they just be like, no, you're not booked on the show?
I gotta be honest, I really think the Young Bucks and Acclaimed feud has been really good, and it's the best feud that both of those teams have had in quite a long time.
Yeah, I would say that that's not high. I'm a massive Young Bucks fan. That's not high praise because I don't think either group have had.
The bar's been relatively
low. I compared.
I think they found each other at the right time, and there's potential for good things
I also
with a long-term story.
This was Max Caster's best rap in potentially 3 or 4 years.
Fantastic.
I like that they called Okada the best bout machine.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
That was fun. But I wrote down here, they're like an unfunny version of Dale and Brennan from Step Brothers. Prestige worldwide.
Yeah.
I think they're leaning, much like Chris Jericho, and this is the fucking problem. It's so coincidental that the wrestlers with the most power, the theatrics of what they're doing is way too big.
But this goes back
to wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And wink, wink, and nudge, nudge is their fucking stock in trade, and I get that. But I think they're devaluing because they're not showing enough anger, fear, fucking resentment,
it's like goofy shit.
It's too goofy, and it's not about fucking egos running out of control and these two guys getting corrupted by power, which is a way more interesting way to frame those characters.
This is going to be maybe not involving the Acclaimed, but involving the Elite. This is the blood and guts storyline from this year, and nothing about that match felt blood and guts.
Yes,
that's my issue with it. Like in a vacuum, I was like, that's a fun 6-man tag. But that shouldn't be a fun 6-man tag. You had your fun 6-man tag with Mystico and Lucha Bros against LIJ. This is your building towards blood and guts. They need to be despicable.
If I was in a fucking feud with my bosses who've been up my ass for fucking weeks, who've been fining me, issuing suspensions, shit talking me live on television, and I got them in the fucking ring,
I'm going.
I got Tanahashi with me.
Yeah.
Granted, his legs are bandy. It's going to take him.
Knees are fucked.
It took him like 5 minutes to warm up. In terms of being in the ring, like he was able to run pretty well by the end of it. And dive.
I did enjoy the Okada stick of like pretending and then tagging out straight away.
at the start.
Like, that stuff is fine.
I'm like, what the fuck have they done with Okada?
And also then if you take that,
no, I don't worry about Okada at all.
A lot of people seem to like myself, just been like, this guy was a fucking monster for New Japan. And and I know you have to build that sport, but I think if now I'm going to be guilty of doing what a lot of people do and comparing it to WWE. I'm just saying, if it was done in that company, what has been done here, I think he'd get a lot of negativity towards him.
I think they're they're building him perfectly for where he's going to go.
I agree.
With all the goofy shit, this is where my hatred.
I think he needs that. They've turned him into the wrestling equivalent of like the little Japanese guy in the white suit in The Simpsons who's on the lawn, and Homer's like, he's going to do something. He's going to do something. And like, you've introduced him to an American TV audience fully for the first time, and you've made him that character in The Simpsons. You know, he's coming into suits, he's looking slick. Certain people know what he's capable of. A lot of people fucking don't. It's not. I don't know why this is the case with Japanese wrestlers, but like, it's not dissimilar to how Tajiri was presented when he debuted in WWF in 2001. Because if you'd watch his stuff in ECW, and you see him coming in as this kind of like valet for William Regal, and you're going, oh shit, like fuck, this stuff has got Vince again, and like this is what's going to make him. And they do make him that, but then they were like smart enough to be like, no, but then he'll turn into Tajiri, the Tajiri that we know and fucking love from ECW. And then to have that match, which is, you know, the 20 years ago WWE equivalent of like the Orange Cassidy debut, where the general TV audience are going, what the fuck? Yeah. And you can really see what he can do.
Do you think people have done that with Okada? Like, he had that match with Pac.
And the Eddie Kingston one. Both of them were fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think, like, it's not going to be a surprise that Okada is good, but I think in terms of amping up to the type of when we complete kind of American version of his character that he can be.
Yeah. And what I like about it as well is, if you go back to like 2013 Okada in New Japan, character-wise, it's quite similar. He articulates that character a little bit differently for American audiences, but it's the rich kid who has everything and just is condescending as fuck to everyone. And then when it comes, like he came in 2012, 2013 and was condescending to Tanahashi, who was the biggest legend the company had in 25 fucking years. He was condescending to him on day one. And he's bringing a bit of that condescending nature to AEW television. And then it's going to get into the ring for a major singles match, and you're going to be like, "Fuck."
I mean, I hope so, but
when they unload him versus Kenny,
I think this has been very hopeful, and I know that they're going to have dream matches. I'm just very tentative about what they've done with him so far, and my dislike for the Bucks comes from OTT, representing OTT at this.
What, do you dislike your gimmicks, or you dislike him personally? The whole thing.
I don't know them personally, but my dislike comes from the way I was so excited to see him, and then the way that main event at that OTT event went down. It was just it was Ospreay and Leo Rush and Ryan Smile against the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
I had a blast at that match.
I brought up a bus full of people from Kilkenny that aren't massive wrestling fans, but just because like this is going to be amazing, and they took the piss.
I don't know.
They took the piss.
I'd never seen the match. I've seen clips from it.
I was in the fucking third row for there, the second row. I had a ball. It was fucking fantastic.
Took the piss. Even lads that were like, oh, right, cool, and then they left. And they were like laughing about it.
Some people don't like dancing. What are you going to do?
Uptown funk. I don't know, maybe. And I was really excited about AEW when it started, and it's just naturally I'm kind of going a bit down on the Young Bucks, and I don't. They're not doing anything.
They need to be more heat magnets, less goof magnets.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
And it needs to happen now because
you're going to stop the CM Punk chance. You're going to stop the We Want Fire chance during your matches then, because that's happening during their matches.
Like Blood and Guts, I think, is in about 5 weeks' time. So this next 5 weeks needs to be mega heat all the time.
They really need to activate it.
Yeah.
It's giving me shades of the Outcast story again, where I'm like, the thing that's in my head seems like it's really good, and it's like going that way, and then it turns into an absolute clusterfuck. I'm not saying the storyline is at a clusterfuck yet, but I really think they need to be in the mix with fucking Swerve. I think they need to start integrating.
I think that's going to happen.
I think a lot of the top. I think they need to go a little bit fucking Game of Thrones kind of House of the Dragon with it for like the summer, and just have it all about like people like getting the various trios, factions, shoring up support.
Yeah.
And like different alliances been made, and let the negotiation and the dance of that be the fucking drama, but just keep it to the forefront, because when you pull the trigger on a authority figure storyline, which they've done, that the Bucks are abusing their power, they're VPs, they run the company, you can't do those kind of fucking storylines too lightly. You really need to have
You need
whack
to
at
lean
them.
into it.
Is it Hangman and Okada then? Is that the kind of thing that you're thinking of?
I don't
Bar,
know.
of course, the natural Okada and Billy Gunn match that we're all dying to see now.
It's nearly more interesting of Hangman, because we don't know how fucked up Hangman's going to be when he comes back.
I think he's going to be mega fucked up.
I think it's going to be more interesting to see the most. I know it's a kind of repeat of what's gone before, but like, because we have this gap of not having seen him, and we saw kind of the kind
Where
of
his head was
vaguely
at.
the heelish version of Hangman.
Yeah.
I think having him come in completely like fucking cowed and broken and
Bad.
yeah, I think a heel who's
With the elite?
been abused by his fucking friends. I
wouldn't put him with the elite. I would put him as a lone force of destruction.
Sting.
the Sting to their NWO.
Yeah, but not like
Yeah, but
just
neither of them having any credence of Sting or NWO.
I'd like to see Hangman being manipulated by them for a while and then turn him.
That could work, yeah,
because
yeah.
I do think because they were on good terms last time they're on TV together.
yeah. They did fire him from the elite though.
Oh, did they? Did
Him and Kenny. Yeah, no, they fired the Hangman for the elite for
Then
putting his hands on.
he's got a gripe there.
Bones was the one that came out looking the best out of this for me.
I thought Anthony Bones had a fantastic showing.
Yeah.
He really did.
Yeah.
His punches look solid. Everything looked crisp,
Full of
and
energy.
good.
I
Babyface
think he is
comebacks.
going to be the singles star breaker.
And
I would have thought previously it would have been
Would have
Caster.
Caster,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think so now.
Caster comes across as extremely unlikable though in real life
does,
too.
yeah.
I
Maybe
think,
he could be a good heel.
he's going to be an amazing heel, and I think fucking Bones is going to be an amazing babyface.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think the two boys are going to have a good.
I thought Bones
Breakup
looked
run.
brilliant in this match.
They need to have a dog. Every tag team that breaks up, it should be a rule written in the wrestling rule book that a dog collar match is the only way that you can break up. Because I fucking love when tag teams go against each other. I am dying for the
I
Kings.
love dog collar matches anyway.
Yeah, I remember when American Most Wanted. No, they had a Texas Death Match.
Techno Team
Amazing.
2000 had a
Eric
fucking,
Watson.
a classic for the ages.
I am dying for the Kings of the North in OTT to have one.
They should definitely do that.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
They've been together so long though, my God.
Bonesaw and Carvin.
They would beat the shit out of each
I
other.
presume it's been done, but I'm not aware of it. Triple threat dog collar?
Without Duncan Disorderly in there.
Well, they did the tag team double.
Are you
the
talking
double
about-
dog collar?
But has it been done?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Or are you talking about Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed?
Why is, like, in fairness, like, I can
Why
understand.
is Billy Gunn the most protected man on the roster?
What's going on? He's
He must have
60 fucking
serious
two.
contract.
Like, Sting would be fucking staring at the lights for Billy Gunn at this stage. Okada, who, again, if we think they're building him up the way they should be building him up. Him running away from 62-year-old Billy Gunn, fucking granddaddy ass, is not the most conducive way to put some shine on
I
Okada.
don't understand.
Well, I
that,
really
like,
want to. Coming out with this, I was like, I cannot wait for Billy Gunn and Okada.
Yeah, Billy Gunn went 70-30 with Jay White. Like, you know what I mean?
If this ends up being like fucking Billy Gunn, remember Billy Gunn in New Japan had a weird kind of like semi feud with Tanahashi.
Yes, yeah.
Where like Tanahashi called him out and it was like a proper like challenge. Like if Billy's trying to just work through all these Japanese legends,
if they do a
and he's got a bit of swing backstage, maybe
He must
that's-
have.
if they
Seriously.
do a Hulk Hogan Brock Lesnar.
I have no problem with Okada, Billy Gunn.
But Billy,
in the
but Bill-
Tokyo Dome.
But Billy Gunn is the Brock Lesnar. I was actually hyped for Tanahashi and Okada because of what, as you said at the start, they kind of
their history.
but Okada tagged out straight away.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk like Tanahashi if I tried.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as an acting exercise or something.
Like, no, like that man's knees are just.
I was watching it, I was
He's not
like-
doing the G1 for the first time in 22 years.
Doing all the fucking G1s is the reason he's like this.
Yeah, that's true.
Do
as
the
well.
rules not count in like the 5-second rules and stuff not count in AEW? A legitimate question.
What you mean?
You know,
for
the ref-
tags,
the ref-
they count, but they don't. They're very
But
loose.
they also don't count
Yeah.
when it suits.
Oh, I also written down the Billy Gunn versus Okada is this generation's Kamala versus Daniel Bryan, and Okada is the Kamala.
Hey, look, all in all, 4 good performers.
Yes, I thought it was a good match, like in a vacuum. But then
I enjoyed it.
We outlined our issues with the type of match they had versus what they should have had, given that we're heading.
And it was a
towards Blood and
little
Guts.
longer than it needed to be, and I would have really, I think it would have been really good to see the face team get absolutely fucking nuked.
Yes.
Heat. They need heat. They
2
need heat.
0 to AEW anyway over any foreign invasion.
Oh yeah, I don't. They want to win more matches on their own shows, anyway.
Next match is the match that I really wanted to see. It was Shingo and Danielson.
Yes, on Hart Memorial Cup men's quarterfinal.
Two boys look badass.
Yeah, what
badass.
What put doubt in my mind was when they were like, Shingo has said that I want to win
it.
I'm going to win it, and I was like, all right, fuck yeah, Danielson.
I was really bought into Shingo winning that match, and I genuinely thought it was one of the least predictable matches on the card.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like with it being Danielson's last year and what I think their plans are for the summer.
What do you think their plans are for the summer?
It's Nigel and
Here you no.
because like they keep mentioning it on the
Are they just doing Swerve and Brian?
I think they're doing Swerve Danielson
For All In. And he's gonna win
I
it.
think Danielson wins.
And then he drops it to Swerve at
Wrestle Dream. It's in
which is in Seattle.
What
which is
about
in
All Out?
Seattle.
All Out
And they're two
week-
Seattle boys.
They're two Seattle boys, and that's his last match on
That
his
would be a
full-time
sweet
schedule. I think he
finish.
gets the run, and then
He doesn't want to win though.
I know he doesn't want to win.
If you're
but
Tony Khan and you're paying the money, you're paying for Brian Danielson,
You-
and you're looking
you
at the
want
lineage of
his
your
name
belt,
on your
you want
lineage.
his name on your heavyweight title. In the same way they hotshotted onto Joe for
He's not
because
retiring.
that's a name
he's
you
going
want.
part-time though, you know what I mean? And
But sure, AEW is practically part-time anyway. He's just not going to be wrestling on Collision and fucking Rampage and stuff.
Jesus, Shane, the man just wants to spend time with his fucking
let
kids.
the man spend time
Sure,
with his
once
kids.
a week, that's all he has to wrestle. He doesn't even have to wrestle.
but he
Just
wa-
wrestle
he-
once a month. Do make Danielson out to be your big
Daniel
fucking
said the
UFC
ideal
fighter.
time. He said if you're a wrestler, the ideal amount of time to wrestle is once a week. That's the best version of it.
Yeah, you keep yourself sharp. And,
Keep it all together.
But I think that's what they're going to do, and I think it happens at I'd say Wrestle Dream. I think is the one in Washington.
So why
State.
are they doing the Nigel and Brian thing? Is that just a shtick?
They were supposed to do it all in last year, but Brian got injured.
I don't think Nigel's.
No, Nigel was posting fucking photos of him in
He'll just
Boston.
fucking do a
It's
magic
not
trick
what
and
he
make
looks
himself.
like I care about. It's what's his condition his brain is in.
Well,
If
just
he's-
don't be headbutting fucking
he's able to
steel.
They're
They're going to headbutt each other 75 times.
But did you not remember when he fucking headbutted the steel in Ring of Honor? Didn't he headbutt the
Yeah, that's why he can't wrestle now.
Yeah, did you hear the Hawk Tui reference straight
Yeah.
into the Owen Hart Memorial Cup? I'm like that's
They're throwing
That was
in
a choice.
fucking Hawk 2 reference to
Well, no, we're throwing in a Hawk Tua reference, you know?
yeah, but we're like they
Spit
went
on that pine.
yeah, but then they went straight into the Owen Hart talk.
I know,
after.
yeah.
And I was like, Jesus, that's in bad taste. That's why you would do Hawk Tua, get the taste out of your mouth, I suppose. The fucking suplex on the outside looked absolutely sick.
So sick.
Like Danielson, I actually thought he was legitimately fucked up here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happens when you're watching him now. It's like watching fucking.
And the I was unsure if that they did it so well. I was like, Danielson kind of got tangled in the ropes
like,
as
they
he was
did-
doing the dive.
Yeah, so he
I
did-
was like, this wasn't planned, but obviously it was a plan.
Oh man, he fucked him up there. Like the way he landed, it was just unnatural. There's no safe way to take that. But like if there was, what an awesome spot, because like
yeah. It was incredible, unbelievable.
Just
spot.
a great match.
Yeah.
I love that they feature matches for the Owen Hart's
On a
traditional-
pay-per-view, yeah.
on that pay per view,
Yeah.
particularly every year.
Shingo's such a hard hitting fucker. Like
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
everything.
I'll get back to this in the Night on Mox match, but Jesus Christ, New Japan, Shingo's your fucking guy. He's right there.
Yeah.
He's right there.
He's the former, but wasn't he with a different company?
Yes,
Is it,
and New Japan has this weird shit.
who was it?
about-
Is it Dragon Gate?
He was with Dragon Gate.
Yeah. And so that's he is the former world champion.
Yes. Which I was surprised with. They gave him a run as the champion.
Well, they gave everyone a run for a while. Sonata, Evil.
Yeah, which those two should never have had to touch that title.
Sonata
either.
looks like a star.
Sonata is
shouldn't have been
unbelievable
he shouldn't
in
have
ring.
been-
Looks fantastic. As soon as any charisma is needed, he's a void of charisma. A black
Yeah,
hole.
him and Jack Perry going head to head last year's Forbidden
Oh
Door
my
was not the
God.
most tantalizing.
I felt bad for Sonata.
for that fucking
For the
title.
IWGP
For the
World Heavyweight title.
IWGP, yeah.
I felt bad for Sonata for that. I wanted to ask you something. This might be a bit more controversial. Danielson's run here. His run before he got to the world title in WWE. Is that going to be his bigger legacy? I know that maybe winning the title at WrestleMania 30, but before that, is that going to stand out in more people's minds? Not just because of the actual wrestling fans who know about it, like Team Hell No. Like, you're going to remember his stuff with The Miz and NXT, and you're going to remember Team Hell No more than you're going to remember anything in AEW.
Yeah, maybe, but also like, hey, like every fucking wrestler, if they're lucky, and not a lot of wrestlers get to do this. Not a lot of wrestlers get to do the fucking, veteran on the way out looking for one last big world title win before they retire storyline. A classic of the genre. You know what I mean?
If he doesn't get injured before it happens.
But that adds to the stakes for us as punters watching it.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And there's a danger in Danielson matches and stakes that you don't get in other matches.
We know what he's gone through. We know what injuries he's been nursing. We know where he's at. We know what the timeline is that he's looking at. He's laid it out.
Yeah.
I think we are looking at what we're realizing is it's actually a well planned out long term storyline that they've probably been cooking for about a year, but it's
which is what we lament about them the most. So.
It's centered
and this has revealed itself very slow burn.
Very much so, and it's very much about Danielson's retirement from full-time competition, his last chance to win a world title. I don't think, even if he doesn't sign again with AEW, if he goes back to WWE, I don't think he's going to be a world title contention there. I think it is, and I think he will wrestle for them again, but I don't think he's going to maybe have that big world title run, world title storyline.
No, he's not going to do that anywhere regardless.
And also, he doesn't want to be a world champion, as he said, but I think he might acquiesce to Tony, been like, carry it for 2 months, please. Yeah, fuck it, why not?
Did you see Scott Steiner in the front row?
The two of them. There's a father and a son with the Scott Steiner chainmail.
Oh, yeah. That was cool. I just had that note down.
They had me on the made in Japón.
I was about to... That should have been the finish.
Oh, they had me I was like, Daniel's losing this?
Well, no, I wasn't even like that. I was like, this makes a lot of... In the whole 3 seconds, about 50 things went into my... I was like... This makes so much sense. Danielson's losing all the time anyway. He's fucking getting pinned by everybody. So why not buy shit? Oh no, he kicked out.
I thought also the callback to earlier in the match on the actual submission finish. He did the armbar earlier. Shingo powered out of it, dropped Danielson on his fucking head.
I was talking about when Shingo powered out, there was a pin there though. This happened in a different, like when he was on top of him, Danielson's shoulders are to the mat, and I was looking at Aubrey going,
make the count.
Go 1-2 at least and make, but his shoulders were to the mat.
I didn't notice
that
myself.
It happened at another stage as well, where I don't want to skip too far ahead, but Orange Cassidy and Zack Sabre.
I did notice one in that match where I was like,
when he was going for the hands in the pockets, I was like, well, he's on them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then he does the kick back after his hands in his pocket, and you're like, a big problem. So I was in a training match, and I did an elbow drop, and I went for the pin, and the referee, sound as a pound, because I was having trouble with my elbow drops, and he was going through it with me. Foxy, right? And he comes up, he came up, and he was like, her shoulders aren't on the mat. I can't count. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was doing it in a helpful way, but if you did that in a show, so I was thinking about that, watching this going, his shoulders are on the mat, like you should. Should be a count, at least for him to kick out of it or something.
And then continue on with your spot.
Yeah, that's what bugs me, the leniency of the refs there in comparison. Someone else told me that they were in a match and the referee is doing a 5 count. The 5, he's on the ropes or whatever he's talking about. And your man let go at 5. But the ref was just like, no, I called 5. It's over. And this is the guy's like first match in front of a crowd. He's like, no, you fucked it up, like. And that's the only way you're not going to do that again. It's just so... following rules.
I did not notice in this any shoulders down.
I did. Now that you mentioned the spot where
the armbar, power out, slam.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was nice that they went back to it later, and Danielson's attack over the course of the match had worn down Shingo to not be able to do it the next time.
The fact that the way it ended
should have been the opener.
Great show. Yeah, I think so.
That should have been the opener.
Yeah.
Like that kick out of the fucking Bisaiku knee was
unbelievable as well.
One of the biggest pops of the night.
And that was literally that close.
When you have so many close calls though in a match, especially considering the main event relied a lot on that too.
Yeah.
Is that having it as far away as possible from the main event, as you were saying?
Yeah,
for the show opener?
I
It's a
see
hot
people
opener.
complain the whole time about near
false
falls.
finishes.
No, that's
what it's all about.
That's like saying, you know what, like I went to see a fucking, a comedy show or a play or a gig,
it
and
made me laugh.
I was clapping in joy all the time. I was entranced and surprised.
I went to a soccer match and they hit the post.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, or like they were so close, but they didn't get it.
No,
I
if
don't
the
know what
audience are
match it
buying them-
was. There was people online saying too many false finishes. I was like, fuck off. Like
it's
they
not too
got
many
me on
false-
2 of those.
It's not too many false finishes if the fucking fans are invested in them and believe them and are
they
bopping
were
them.
going bonkers for the made in Japón and the Psycho knee.
Yeah.
Crowd going mental. Like you said, was it the Psycho knee one? Was he?
And that was so well built up by Danielson.
Because he's finished so many matches with that as well, and that even the transitions.
But he
into
really
that.
did. He did this really good job of really selling that he was putting like all of the energy and breath he had left in his body into this move, and he was really trying to get the crowd to like fucking
And
rouse him
he
through that.
looked fucked up as well.
Yeah.
All that Kinsey tape and the
Yeah,
cups
yeah.
and shit. You're just like, that man's knee is a nice bat.
Oh man, he's gonna be like it'll be like the Continental Classic
Oh, like-
over, but he's gonna be crawling to the end.
By
of
the time he gets to All In Wembley, he's going to be the Yeti.
But this is the most interesting Danielson has been to me in AEW. Bar like his initial opening.
I've had a
I
few
disagree.
periods. I've had a few periods of
vehemently disagree.
yeah.
When was he the most interesting to you?
He was. I thought he was exceptionally interesting in his feud with Hangman Adam Page.
That was-
I think he
yeah.
keyed in on a fucking really cool aspect of his character that he had properly utilized. Again, I think his skill facility for character work is just fantastic, and like his innate understanding of where he is on the spectrum of his life and his career and how that should impact on his character, and he gets that across really well. I thought he did it really well with Hangman.
I thought-
he was cocky.
Same with Eddie Kingston.
I thought he did it again with Eddie Kingston. Wonderful, exceptional
Daniel
fucking character
Garcia.
work from the two of them.
The Daniel Garcia stuff was sensational. I thought.
I thought it was really well done, but it
Jericho-
didn't benefit from a long-term feud, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jericho
and I
fucked
thought
that.
his work with MJF was also exceptional.
Yeah.
So
This is the most interesting, and
I think
probably
Danielson's been
the
consistently
thing
good.
that I'm not saying that he's been bad, but this has been the most interesting. I think the Blackpool Combat Club has really put a dampener on stuff for me.
I think the
Because
Blackpool
William
Combat
Regal
Club-
leaving kind of got fucked that. I think in general, it became almost an afterthought.
I don't think they're necessary anymore.
None of them boys are from Blackpool. Let's just call it.
None of them are from England.
None
None of them.
one of them.
Only one of them's from Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
AEW 3
Geneva Combat Club. Fuck your
GCC.
peace conventions. We got a combat club here now.
We're rewriting the Geneva Convention. AEW 3-0.
Yes.
Tony Khan is like, fucking yes, we won.
I started to get worried at this point. I was like, Jesus Christ, are they going to like
Clean sweep.
ruin-
Clean sweep.
Are they going to ruin the relationship with all of the foreign promotions that they're working
Well,
with here?
they didn't have it ruined with Stardom at the time, but they were up next. It was AEW versus Stardom.
Can I say in terms of like storyline, cross promotional, it was the best built story.
Sensationally built.
On
And
the
I don't
cards.
love the Tony Storm character gimmick. I think it's a very well performed gimmick, very well written gimmick. It's not the type of thing that appeals to me as a wrestling fan.
You famously have never watched a black and white movie in your life.
In my life, I have a master's in film studies. I skipped the first 3 months. I didn't show up till November because they said, now we're into colour cinema.
Yeah, do you have a tattoo that says "fuck Casablanca" on you?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Morro said that if he was ever forced to watch a black and white movie, he would burn down the cinema.
The Regent.
like in Inglourious Bastards. when,
Yeah, I would go full Inglorious Bastards on it.
Buster Keaton can suck yo.
Yeah.
You know yourself.
Did you know what the best part of Schindler's List was? The girl in the red dress.
Mina versus Tony.
I like that you watched all of that movie. It's like, I'm going to get you one black and white movie. It'll be Schindler's List. It gets to the end. Unmoved.
Didn't shed a single
bit of
tear.
colour.
A bit of colour.
Nice.
Well done,
for me.
Spielberg.
Well done.
Well done, Spielberg.
Mina versus Tony. Mina is tiny.
She's not as small as Rio.
Yeah. No, she's a star. Like I remember
is.
I seen her standing against the ropes. I was like,
Whoa.
oh wow, she's very
She
very
is
small.
an excellent professional wrestler.
To go against Tony Storm, I thought she was fucking.
What are you saying, Shane? You saying she's a mini?
Yeah, her.
Was she 5'2"?
Her Max Mini Rey Mysterio.
5'2" isn't the smallest, is it? Wasn't Prince 5'2"?
Was he? He was
Also,
pretty
not a
small, too.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Or a
No, she
woman.
just looked really small standing against the ropes. That's not to denigrate her.
No.
Because she has a massive, big personality. She showed it in her fucking entrance.
Oh my God,
I thought
class.
she, like, as Taz said it, I was like, fuck, she's going to get blown up. She's going to get Ultimate Warrior here.
I think she's been fantastic. Yeah, she's been so like she's obviously very light and very comedic in ways, but the malevolence always shines through.
Yeah, she can go.
And then you're like she can turn on you on a fucking.
She
on
flips
a
the
dime.
switch. I thought, as well as you said about the build and the storyline, feeling important and being given time over the previous 5-6 weeks, really helped the crowd heat in the match. Because it was the first match where I found it to be consistently heated throughout.
Yeah, well, that could have been to do with the flame.
Was there a flame?
Lady Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I was like, that looks cool.
It does, yeah.
And
I
then
gotta
they
say,
did-
for me,
She's Australian.
top 10, one of the worst gimmick entrances I've ever seen coming out of AEW. Like, I was like, what are they doing here?
I don't know. I didn't get it.
Like, what is that? She's looking like the fucking
they're in
Statue of
they're in
Liberty.
New York, though.
Yeah,
But I no, but this is my thing. I was like, the premise
Not
is
an American woman on screen.
the premise
did nothing for it.
the premise is cool. The execution is really bad. If this was someone with a bigger production, they would pull that off a lot better than what AEW. So they did it. She's standing there, and then they do the thing that you go when you see a shitty theater player where they black out and they're hustling in the background to get all the shit off the stage.
put Hornswoggle under the ring.
Yeah, like it was just executed poorly, but I thought the idea and the premise was good considering that they were in
I
New
don't know
York.
what you do there. It's like, oh, you're in New York. It was like, I would have much rather see like loads of Statue of Liberties, like seeing her down or her riding down on a fucking.
But that's what I'm saying. The execution
like
was bad.
she stands there in a fucking Halloween costume and she smiles kind of weakly, and then it goes to black.
and then it goes to black for a while.
I actually didn't even make the New York connection. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone. Fine, wrestle.
But did you notice that the commentary were almost Jerry Lawler-esque on this? I know they were saying the chin up, tits out stuff, but
Yeah.
I found them to be quite.
I don't know how.
Is that like I will say just be careful how I phrase this, but Mina Shirakawa is definitely the most like chestily presented women's wrestler they've had in a long time.
And Tony is
And they're
chin up,
really-
tits out. Like,
Yeah, but and they're obviously like feeding into a storyline that I would say presumably
month.
be attractive to perverts.
yeah, which made the commentators seem like perverts.
And Nigel came across as a
Nigel
pervert.
McGuinness.
Well, I'll get on to Nigel at the end.
He's really been amping up the pervy stuff for a long time, and we had Jerry Lawler for so long.
Don't need him again.
Can we just take a break from that crack? Like
It's not needed, especially when I know they're two gimmicky people, and like Mina's gimmick is kind of sexualized.
I
in
know
that
it's a
way.
very sexualized gimmick, and that's
Maybe it's just us putting our aspersions on it.
no.
but
Those guys are like again. As I said, it's the most overtly sexual a female wrestler probably has been in AEW that I'm aware of.
Oh, definitely.
And then for the announcers then to start kind of
Hamming it up a bit.
in ways that don't seem conducive to the storyline.
Yeah.
I could be proven wrong, but
No,
it just
you're,
seemed a bit
you're,
egregious.
you're right.
Well, they're fighting over Maria May, and then they kissed before and all this kind of stuff. So, like, maybe that's what they want to play up on. They want to play up on the old TNA aspect, not the 6-sided ring one, or not testing Albert.
That's me every time.
Yeah, but I thought the match itself was quite good. What I fucking hate in wrestling though was shown here when Luther, who looks I quite like.
I actually like him in this.
Yeah.
game.
I think he's very good in this role.
Yeah. Not when he was at Serpico or
No,
whatever.
Serpentico. That was terrible.
Serpico, fucking Al Pacino.
Frank Serpico.
I thought
You watched it because that's a colour.
it was great in Serpico.
Yeah, it's fully in colour.
He's,
You should do a Serpico look for that fucking copy you're playing.
Serpico look.
Get the wig and the fucking.
come in as a different Al Pacino.
Did you ever see
We all
the,
come in as different Al Pacinos in Glengarry,
That'd be
Glen
a
Ross.
great idea. Do you ever see when Charlie Kelly does Serpico
yeah,
in
yeah.
Always Sunny?
Yeah.
I'll do that version of it.
Nice.
I haven't seen
Sensational.
it.
Oh, sensational.
But a thing that I hate in wrestling is getting people in position for dives. People waiting there. We've seen it with Brody King. He's waiting for a sequence to finish and he's doing nothing. You've seen it with Solo when Tamatonga or when Fatu got into the ring. Jacob Fatu got into the ring and like Cody Rhodes is beating on Jacob and Solo sitting in the background waiting for the spot to be finished. But like when you're diving and you're waiting for someone to dive on you. So Mina dives out onto Tony and Luther.
Fantastic dive. But Luther awkwardly got there.
But the thing is, like, if you're waiting for people to get into position to jump on him, you can't just jump on one person. Just don't do the fucking spot. Like, don't make it look bad. And it's the same in wrestling all over. You'll see 6 lads brawling, looking up like this, waiting for fucking someone to jump on.
I don't ever remember seeing it done right.
No. So don't do it.
Yeah, I don't ever once remember.
Does anyone remember Alex Shane? He used to do Frontier, FWA in England.
Yeah.
And he used to write in Fighting Spirit. I remember distinctly writing about this one time, that if someone was going to do a suicide dive on him, he'd have his back turned to him until he heard them taking the steps in the ring, and then he'd turn into it.
Yeah.
It's not like he's waiting there for them going, and looking up and like getting a side eye and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a real bugbear of mine. Like, Mina shouldn't have done that, I think, unless like Tony and Luther were kind of talking over at the side, and she kind of jumps into the frame. And then you're like, okay, cool. But when you have the camera on her and then you're panning to them and then you're showing them and they're getting into position for that dive and looking up and waiting for her to set herself before she jumps.
That's a production thing as well. We should never see that part of it on TV.
Yeah.
Whatever, if you're in the live crowd, they're always going to see some of the stuff that is contrived, but we should never see it at home.
Yeah. But overall, a really good match. The diving DDT.
Great match.
Yeah, really enjoyed
DDT
it.
was exceptional.
Yeah, German suplex, and then I love her pile driver.
Mina did an unbelievable roundhouse kick as well that just looked so good.
I think it's become one of the most interesting feuds of Tony Storm's reign, and it would actually, I think there's more mileage in it.
That's why
for another couple of months.
I think Tony Storm is the most interesting female performer.
But I was going
in professional wrestling at the moment.
Yeah, I'll get more into it when we come to the Mercedes match, but I do have some takes on the AEW women's division as a whole.
Is this women's title been outshone now by the TBS title?
I don't think so.
TBS title having a higher spot in the card.
Yeah, you can do that. But
I think you've got 2 women's singles titles that are,
Very
for the last
meaningful.
couple of months, have been chock full of really good storylines. The improvement in the last 6 months in the AEW's women's division has been fantastic, because
this is what I was going to get
last year it was so much. It was like we're getting the same 4 to 6 women in rotation kind of every week for way too long. Those women are still in the mix, but it seems like they're freshening things up considerably.
Where's Sky Blue after her push?
Sky Blue needed a break. She was extremely she was one who was extremely overexposed.
But she turned. She only recently turned.
I think she's out injured now.
she did.
Julia Hart's
She
injured.
is injured. Both are injured. But Sky Blue had, after her turn, she was unfortunate as well with Julia Hart getting injured, because that was part of her turn. And then it's like, shite, Julia Hart's injured now. All the plans we had are going out the window. But Sky Blue had she was on TV like 8 to 10 times after her turn wrestling. I think she was slightly overexposed at the time. But what I was going to say is, I actually think now where the women's division is at with the Chris Willow storyline, Chris Statlander Willow, with the Mercedes stuff, with Tony Storm, Mariah May.
Deanna Prazo and Thunder Rosa has been really solid as well.
Been great too.
Serena Deeb, isn't she feuding with someone?
Serena Deeb's she's been kept in the mix, and she's been kept hot in the mix, which is where she should be all the fucking time.
Was she up against Riho or something soon?
I think Riho maybe could be her next feud.
Yeah, where's Sheeta?
Sheeta's just back.
She's just
great.
back. Yeah.
So and Brit's back as well now.
Yeah.
So
I actually think
Thunder Rosa's back. We get Jamie Hayter back, and we got a fucking stew cooking in that division.
I think that I think
that's a fucking Irish thing, man.
they need to lean into their women's division now, because it's hot and it can be a major differentiating factor against WWE, because I think WWE's women's division is way lower than where it has been in previous years.
And why do you think that is? Because Rhea's gone?
Rhea's injured, Becky's gone.
Mix of injuries.
Storylines are
just not good.
The Liv Morgan stuff for Dom is trash. It's a disgraceful storyline that should not be on WWE TV.
But if it leads to Rhea and Liv having a custody of Dominic match at SummerSlam,
Dominic Mysterio,
oh my God, you're going
match.
to do that?
That'd be fucking amazing. Like,
it's a Dominic Mysterio on a pole.
The 20th anniversary of that is next year. Fucking do it this year.
Do it. Like, I think,
that'd be amazing.
And what's happening with the WWE division? Women's division as well.
They're pushing Tiffany. They're pushing Lyra.
I know,
they're pushing.
It's still good. Look, it's WWE doing the women's division. We'll take it. It's not bad, but it's nowhere near as fucking moving on full power as it was last year.
And it's not. It doesn't have the depth which is crazy, because if you go back Like, one of the early criticisms of AEW was their women's division is crap.
They're getting fuck all time. And
Yeah.
But there was so little depth.
Yeah,
in
they
it
were
as
starting a new
Soraya
company.
was on the
and-
pre-show, wasn't she?
Yeah, Soraya was on the pre-show, Chris was on the pre-show, Willow was on the pre-show. Like, there was like 10 women featured up and down this card.
Yeah, but I did. That's a big thing I've noticed in the last 6 months. Like, obviously, you can't have like
It didn't feel like they were put there to have a
No,
women's
but
match
it
on
also
the
feel
card.
like now they seem to constructively have a fairly firm foundation of probably maybe 10 to 12, 14 women.
You know what they
that
have?
somehow end up being featured on TV pretty prominently every week.
Storylines
And are intermingling.
that don't revolve around the title.
Yeah, I think
Because
some-
that's what all the women's storylines were. They were revolving around titles.
I think-
so. They'd go through someone to get a shot,
Cycle.
and then they go
Next cycle,
Yeah,
next
and then they
cycle,
go.
next cycle, yeah.
And
I know, but you're creating the illusion that there's lots of people fighting at a very top level to get an opportunity at the two belts.
Yeah, like if you look at the
Team-
brackets for the Owen Hart Women's Tournament, it's 100 times better than previous years.
It's loaded.
It's loaded, like,
were
yeah.
you expecting Mariah May turn?
No, I think that's coming closer
It will
to
be
Wembley.
coming.
Yeah.
I think potentially we're looking at. I would say Tony's possibly going to lose it at Wembley to
To Mariah May.
possibly to Mariah May.
I think so, yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Or does Tony turn on her?
I see, that's the beauty
This
of
is
it.
the
I
thing.
don't know.
Tony's like, if you're doing that match in Wembley, Mariah May's got to be the face. I would
Face,
imagine.
yeah. I know. It's mad.
So what
I
does
can
Tony
see that
take
go
away
either
from
way.
Mariah then? That makes her just beats her up and casts her aside.
Well, like,
Jealousy.
Mariah wins the Owen Hart, and that's named as the match for.
Yeah.
And then you got 2 months of shenanigans.
and then you have a Batista Triple H storyline.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Yeah.
Nigel crying at the end.
Unbelievable
for the kiss.
Unbelievable.
Great bit of
Standing
business.
weeping.
You standing
He was
weeping.
Because the kiss.
Like, that's all they needed to do in that regard.
Yeah.
Like any of the other like fucking sleazy stuff, you don't need it.
No,
that
but just that.
just to
that.
pop that moment, I think is enough. Yeah.
Next up, then AEW are 4-0.
Yes.
Next
Come
up,
on, AEW.
they're up Zach versus Cassidy. I'm not a big fan of either performer.
I love both.
If I was Orange Cassidy, or if I was anybody going up against Zack Sabre Jr., I would be absolutely fucking shitting it because he is so crisp in the style that he does. I'm not just a man. I'm not.
It's how do you match him in that style, in his own style of
But
match.
like knowing the intricacies of it, like the movements that you have to know that he's going to do to be able to set. I would legitimately shit myself having to wrestle that man.
It just looks so easy for him.
But it's an interesting storyline between the two guys that I'm generally disinterested in. I was looking at it going, this is a clash of styles, and I'm all fucking for it here. And I wanted to see how Orange would handle going up against someone as crisp as Zach. I'm not overly familiar with Zach. I think my first time probably coming across him would have been the Cruiserweight Classic. And then when I started getting a lot more into New Japan, I was watching him. I've seen him have matches with Ishii that I was unimpressed with, and I was just like, can he wrestle another style?
Yeah,
I think he can.
So my nickname in one WhatsApp group in Tokyo Dome, for a long time, for probably at least 6 of the last 10 years, New Japan has been my favorite promotion. He's had matches with Ishii, some good, some bad, but his real best dance partner is Tanahashi.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, which is again someone totally stylistically different. Actually, Ospreay is his best dance partner, but in terms of the biggest matches he's had in New Japan, he's had unbelievable matches with Tanahashi where they blend styles, where Tanahashi is trying to do that New Japan main event style and build up the match like that, and it's Zack Sabre Jr. constantly trying to drag him back down into his style
Why
of match.
isn't he going to be a star? He's been in New Japan for years.
I think he's primed to be their
This
next.
is another thing.
He's after getting a bit bulkier.
next
as well.
guy should- that's why
he won the New Japan Cup about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is it now. They're priming the next guy for after Kenny. And obviously they went to Ospreay. But like, he's been on the cusp of being ready. Do you know something?
Where's Dave Finlay?
He's there, but he's not at that level.
He's a leader of the Bullet Club, though.
Yeah, but the Bullet Club have they're in their own universe at the moment with internal strife with the War Dogs and all this kind of stuff. They're not very interesting.
Who left there recently?
Who
He
left?
left wrestling altogether.
It was
Hikuleo is
Hikuleo was
probably-
gone. Well, there was a lad that was in Bullet Club that left altogether, wasn't he? Left wrestling. And I was really disappointed because he looked cool. He had a mustache.
yeah.
Marty Skrull.
There was
You have a
they did
t-shirt.
in
You
Japan.
have 5 Marty t-shirts.
5
there,
Marty
right?
Skrull t-shirts here.
Yeah.
Here's Marty Skrull dressed up as Sting.
Oh, very
Here's
nice.
Marty Skrull dressed up as American Dragon.
Yeah, it was an interesting style though between the two different lads. DDT sell by the Zack Sabre Jr. It was another dive in DDT, but the sell was just fucking.
Yeah. It looked like he was electrocuted.
What I'm always looking at though at matches, I was like, be a really good fucking storyline. Break Orange Cassidy's thumbs. You know when he does the thing where he break his thumbs so he can't do the thumbs up to people, and you take that away from him.
Yeah,
like I think that'd be, and his hands are too swollen, he can't put them in his pockets.
Yeah,
like that's
you still kind of do the fist bump thing though.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, I know, but that's all you leave him with.
It's enough.
I thought there was just great mind games in this.
Yeah,
this was up to this point. I didn't think it was the best match on the show, but it was my favorite match on the show.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I thought Cassidy looked great, and I thought Sabre Jr. came off strong as fuck and looked. It was the really decisive win that New Japan needed at the right time.
Yeah, there was another pinning sequence thought there.
There was an amazing pin sequence.
No, there was a long pin sequence. Yeah, but it was
Is this one where you were saying the shoulders were down?
Shoulders
Yeah,
down,
I
like
didn't notice that. Either.
That's a pin.
Is this when he was putting hands in the pockets?
Yeah, and he's standing on them.
I was looking at his hands trying to get into his pockets.
We did reference the Shingo and Danielson match, but we didn't really say anything about the finish, and it was a verbal submission.
Yeah,
they did that here again.
Yeah,
because he couldn't tap, his arms are all gone. I was like, oh fuck. They need to I think highlight that from a production point of view a bit better.
Yeah, and make it known. It was a verbal submission.
They did it better, I think, in the Orange match than they did in the Shingo match.
Yeah.
But in the Shingo match, they were like, wait, what the fuck happened here?
I thought it was great that Zack Sabre got the win as well. And also got the win by submission, because very rarely you see a guy who's Orange Cassidy is very protected by AEW, and to lose not by a pin or a flash pinfall, he lost by verbally submitting.
Yeah,
is a huge thing for
a
face
man
to
that
do.
doesn't really talk either.
And to have like all four limbs absolutely contracted and stretched.
I'd predicted him as a winner in our group beforehand. Thinking back on it though, like his storyline at the moment is the dissolution of the best friends. He's in a bit of a funk. So I thought it was an interesting progression of that story for him to now verbally submit to an outsider.
So what can his character become, or does he stay as what he is?
Orange
always?
Cassidy.
Yeah, like is there an evolution of Orange Cassidy now?
Yeah,
now that everyone's left him, he's had that TNT run with the title where he's getting beaten down and broken up. Everyone's left him now, and he's after losing on a big. Like, is there an evolution of Orange Cassidy? Is there a heel Orange Cassidy in there?
I don't know if there's
I
a
don't
heel
think there's a heel in there.
at this
No,
point.
I don't think anyone would want to see that either.
What if he just starts wearing black pants?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think he can do darker shades of the character.
Yeah,
think
but
he
I
can
just
do
bought the
less
t-shirts.
more antisocial.
I just bought the t-shirt.
All he has to do on the t-shirt is turn around.
Don't.
And then print his t-shirt with him just standing with his back to you. He's turned his back on you. Tony, I'm printing you money here, bud. It fucking Marks like him will buy it.
I will actually.
He bought 5 Marty Skull t-shirts.
Let's not go there again.
Yeah. Zack Sabre should have smashed Orange Cassidy's jacket or glasses at the end.
I thought that was to me that I was like, what a great moment.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
No.
It didn't need the animosity.
Yeah,
Like,
it did. No, because Zack Sabre Jr. is going away. Like he's going back to Japan.
Earned his respect. No, it's another fucking and it would have been symbolic. But fucking stop going around with this goofy shit. You can wrestle. Stop doing that and smash his glasses.
But it's the contrast of the goofy shit and the wrestling is what makes Orange Cassidy.
You're over it.
I love Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, but you're over it.
I just bought his t-shirt.
Yeah, you're over it though.
It took me 5 years to buy his t-shirt.
We're over it. The orange is fermented now at this stage.
But I do think there needs to be, and it's coming obviously, John, they're telling the story with it. WWE and AEW are so slow to tell stories at the moment that sometimes I'm just
It's
like,
not a bad thing.
fucking get on with it.
I considering where we were, I love it. At the
look,
moment,
it is great.
The novelty has no war off of long-term
It
storytelling.
makes you want to fucking watch it.
I know, but I'd said to you, I can't remember, I think it was when we did maybe the Double or Nothing and King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring review. Like, not everything has to be a long-term story. Give me a few fucking bite-sized
Give me a few
sprints.
JBL versus Hardcore Holly 2-week fucking run before he goes on to Booker T.
Nakamura and Cody was a fucking top level
That was
version.
3 months though, wasn't it?
Maybe it was.
Maybe it was
3
actually.
months is like that's an optimum time for a feud if it's well paced,
Yeah,
well
like-
constructed, with compelling characters.
And yeah, I want to get to the part where it's Orange Cassidy's, what's next for him within this story.
Yeah,
Like, what's his match for All In? I know we're 2 months out. We don't like that. Shouldn't be obvious in every.
He should join the learning tree.
No, fuck off.
And he can be an orange on the learning tree.
He doesn't need any of that right now. I think they just need.
He's actually bigger than Jericho.
He needs to have more charisma.
Orange Cassidy.
No, like that's the storyline.
sorry,
you
that's
need
the
to
story.
you need to come out. You need to peel open the orange.
Who'd be a great opponent for Orange Cassidy? Jay White would be a great opponent for him.
I think they got to do something with that. Yeah.
Well, what like
I think that.
what is the whole storyline around guys going? I'm going to take you for granted. Oh no, you're really good actually. But we've been doing that for 4 years.
Yeah, I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. took him for granted though.
He did initially though.
Did you feel that? I don't know.
Well, it
Well,
wasn't.
I think in no more than usual, you know, he.
Yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. is just like an arrogant prick.
Yeah,
at
he
the
was
start,
shit
yeah.
talking his skills and his ability to beat him, and then once he beat him, he was satisfied with that.
Talking about learning tree.
Oh, this is the match that should have been on the pre-show instead of the.
And
Mystical
this one I
Lucha
was
match.
giving out about, and then
agree.
you actually had a really good argument about it. I was like, you have trio champions. Why are you having three 6-man tags when not the trios in it?
yeah.
Now, I don't know if he put this much thought into it. Has this been referenced? That
Jay White has said it himself. Yeah.
He's not going to be on it because it's a New Japan show and he lost the loser leaves New Japan match.
yeah.
So that made sense to me then. I was like, all right, cool.
He'd said that previously. I don't know, was it last year's Forbidden Door or something? That I'm not doing co-promote shows because I've lost the.
No, I mean, that's a great philosophy, and
And to stick with it is great. as
stick
well.
with it for a while, and then you can break it when you need
Then
to.
again,
yeah,
lads,
yeah,
did
break that
you,
down,
like when they broke, like when Terry Funk broke every retirement he's ever had, like, you know, were you kind of like, no, fuck you, Terry?
That was like 1989.
Why does Ric Flair why does Ric Flair get so much shit for breaking his retirement, but Terry Funk broke? Like, he used to have like specific the Terry Funk retirement shot.
But he used to do a retirement tour once a year. Like,
Yeah, but Terry Funk didn't do like the biggest possible retirement on the biggest possible stage.
It's the fact
best,
it was
the best
Mania.
possible fucking
yeah, and it was a great retirement.
and now he had a heart attack in the ring, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who, Flair?
Flair in his last match. Against Jeff Jarrett and Andrade.
Speaking of hard action ring, so Jericho in this match. How do you think he's faring?
He's fucked.
He's not.
I think he will go, but
Like,
Like,
you know,
the,
I really like
the line salt.
I said it to you the last day. Actually, we've swapped roles. In our last review, I was saying these style of matches he's having with Shibata and Hook and all, I'm actually really enjoying him because he's doing stuff he can do.
I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum where I enjoy Jericho. I think Hook looked the shits in this.
I thought Hook had a bad outing.
It was a rough day for Hook, I thought. Yeah.
I
said, what did I say? I said, I'm watching Hook. I could be watching Mystical.
yeah.
You know,
Like
Mystical.
Hook. I really like Big Bill. All right, I really
I thought
like.
Big Bill was really good here.
I think his story in wrestling about, you know,
Overcoming.
alcoholism, having seizures, and then building himself up into the way he looks now. He's looking a bit goofy by association with Jericho with the thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. But Big Bill is a fucking, in my head, it is a fucking star.
Yeah, I think for the last year he's been well positioned as a beast, and I think it's time to start showing a bit of humor and personality because he has it. Not everybody needs to be fucking Lance Archer. There can be only one. But like
There should be only one. Lance Hoyt represent.
Well, I you know, I think I think I think William Cassidy Morrissey fucking
Cousin of mine.
cousin of yours.
Did he not show fucking?
He's got a ton of personality, and he's got
did he
great
not
comic
show that
timing.
before though with Enzo?
Yeah.
Like, this is where you need the heartfelt, like, I've overcome all this stuff. I think that if he went back to, say, WWE, that would be what they lean into. The heavy, like you talked about MJF leaning in.
Do you want your 7-foot guy doing that storyline? I don't know. Like,
I don't-
Well, he's a baby, as a baby face, yeah. Like, they fucked Wardlow already. He was their monster. They fucked him after.
I don't think they fucked him. People keep saying that AEW fumbled Wardlow. I actually think they got the maximum out of Wardlow.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
I think they could have booked him a little better, but ultimately I would agree with your point.
Meaningless TNT shit, and now he's back in an enforcer role that he was with Pinnacle.
That was a problem for the TNT title as well.
His
Like,
ceiling.
Nah, man.
He looks great, but he's just not that
I don't
good,
think it
like.
is. I don't think it
great
is the
matches.
ceiling.
He's great fucking matches. I enjoy every Wardlow match that I watch.
I like his squash matches. I like this match with
Man
Cody.
can do a fucking swanton. I was always sold after his cage match with
the Cody match.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I also loved his cage match with fucking Jake Hager as well.
I love that. That was fantastic.
I had a fucking blast at that.
They just never. It looked like they never knew what was coming next, and I was all on board.
I really like Wardlow. I really like Big Bill. I think I don't want him to be associated with Jericho, but I don't like Jericho. I did crack a smile with his goofy waves and shit.
Yeah, like
I didn't crack one smile. Not at any point.
I think there's a little bit of value left in
his
Jericho.
promo.
There is
going,
definitely.
I'm the hometown boy, and all I could think about is, I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot. And I was like,
I knew well, that he was from Winnipeg, but I was like, I don't know. I was thinking like he was born in New York, and then it was exactly the place. So
Yeah.
he was right. I thought he was just doing a carny thing. Like
Hooking Shibata did the Joe dive spot where
Enjoyed that.
Someone dives.
Shibata's getting over.
Shibata's over, man.
I mean, not that like Shabazz not over, but I mean, I think in comparison to when he was first been introduced into AEW, now he's had a little bit of consistency. He's got great matches,
regularly
featured. Regularly featured.
I'd have no problem watching Shibata in the main event of a Rampage. I think he's getting there.
Rampage needs a personality and like something like just have the
Shibata show.
Make a FTW show, like it'll have to be a shit kicker show, like fucking go nuts.
Yeah,
It makes it identifiable there.
I was loving Rampage there for about a 4-month period last year when it was the Lucha show.
Yeah.
And every week you were like, here's
That's
a
what they
mad
should do.
Lucha match, class.
Just put fucking a dead in. Do a brand split.
It's just, I don't think they need a brand split, but Ring of Honor needs to be Ring of Honor, everything else needs to be everything else, and then the shows just need to have different kind of fucking shades, different personalities. Rampage should just
they have so many potential main eventers that it's after bottlenecking. And I know that sounds rich because Will Ospreay and Swerve main evented your latest pay-per-view, but like think about if you're pushing other people to the top. If you have an identifiable brand split, to think about the shows and the stars that you're going to create from that. Like I
just don't like brand splits.
I'm really not feeling.
Brand splits.
The Beefy Boys, then the Clash.
You're not wrong.
Like Joe doing the fucking when they did the shoulder blocks. Like that. But that's a cool story because it's two big beefy boys.
Yeah.
Fucking just all they're doing are doing shoulder tackles, and then Joe follows through on a shoulder tackle, keeps running. But it showed that he got all his fucking might into it. Those spots are like getting a bigger reaction than half the other fucking cool floppy shit that happens on.
It's because of Samoa Joe. You know what I mean? Like Joe knows how to work a crowd better than anyone at this stage of his career.
Like Cobb does a moonsault. You're like, what the fuck?
That blew my mind, and I've seen him do it before. Cobb is getting on. Like Cobb is in his 40s.
I know. Like why isn't he been pushed in New Japan?
Yeah, why?
I think because he's in his 40s. They always do this thing with Cobb. It's very AEW of them. The stop, start, push. They push him at times a year at certain times of the year when none of their big shows are coming up.
Yeah, they need a maintenance.
And then they stick him in a 6-man tag on like Dominion or Tokyo Dome or whatever. You know what I mean? They'll give him like a push in like after Score Genesis around May, and when at that time of year, that's when the Super Juniors are being heavily featured, and Cobb is getting a mini put. It's like this is not the time of year where it matters. It's very he's like 42 or 3.
Wasn't he Mantanza in Lucha Underground?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Fucking badass then.
Like because he came to wrestling late. He was an Olympian. Yeah.
The splashes in the corner. Then there was like. I thought they could have done it better. It was just, you run in and splash. And once again, it comes back to the rules. It was like 5 second rule here.
Yeah, I think 6-man tags just
goes
let
out
match.
the
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I would like to see Brian Keith involved in the actual match. Someone interestingly said, talking about Brian Keith, they were like, he was getting really over, and it would have been class to get him over here in Europe and doing a tour, but then AEW snapped him up. The second anybody gets a bit of steam, they get snapped up by
and he's not over, and I don't think he's going to get too over with Jericho at the moment.
No, I thought he was more over, like, when he was losing every week, but he was having really good matches. He did one Danielson, he did one with Daniel Garcia.
I just don't think if your character is a bounty hunter, I don't know if being in a fucking Jericho stable like everybody else has suffered for the last couple of years is the thing.
Who has come out of a Jericho stable, like legitimately come out of
Daniel Garcia.
Yeah. Okay, so Garcia.
And I would make an argument for. I think it did a lot for Menard and Parker as well.
Where are they now, though?
Well, Parker's
injured.
And Menard is his commentating.
Yeah, but he's still been featured as a
Jake Hager there from the start, pride and powerful.
I
gone.
think Jericho did nothing for Santana or Ortiz. I think Jericho and Hager were good value for a while.
Yeah,
Sammy?
that's done.
No.
I think early days it definitely did do something
There
for
was-
Sammy. I do also think Sammy hasn't helped himself.
Yeah.
Whereas Garcia has helped himself.
There is no wrestler in AEW who needs to be snapped up by WWE more than Sammy Guevara. Like,
What?
not in terms of he's the most talented, but like, I just don't want to see him in AEW anymore.
Yeah,
he's the
he's
most
so
clapped
stale.
out.
Yeah.
I think every option is exhausted.
Yeah.
You've done everything you can possibly do with this guy that's going to be interesting.
Like,
the fans are going to be invested in.
the peak
Run
of-
him off to NXT or TNA.
His peak was the ladder match with Cody.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's 3 years ago. He hasn't done anything of real interest.
And I thought it was telling when they did the 4 pillars kind of 4-way for the world title last year that when you looked at even Perry, who was just
fuck
before
off,
he's taken,
never.
but I did feel with Perry, with Darby, and certainly with MJF, that you go, I could
Not with
feasibly see the 3 of these guys being main eventers in the over the next decade.
I will never think that about Jack Perry.
Guevara, no, I don't think so. I think he's hit the ceiling
like-
very early.
Out of those 4 pillars, there's a clear hierarchy of MJF and Darby Allin have made it, in my mind. Jack Perry is
I think
somewhere
potential
there.
to be the Triple H of that group. I think he's not
Yeah.
going to be the main draw, but he could be the
Yeah.
top heel that other people work against.
And then Sammy just...
Do you genuinely think Jack Perry has the potential to be a top heel?
Yeah.
I think Jack Perry...
Based on what?
I think based on work ethic, dislikability, improving mic skills, improving ring skills.
Promos suck ass.
I think since he's come back, some of his promos have been really good.
I don't think he's anywhere near where he needs to be. But
What
I think
age is he?
he's leveling up. He's what, like 27? 27. Like,
He's very, very
let him
young.
off like he's grand.
Like 6 years' time, he's only the age the
In his
Hangman
prime
is
or
now.
whatever.
20 years. In 20 years' time, he's Samoa
Ric
Joe.
Flair.
He's the same age as Samoa Joe. You know, that's
Yeah.
the last
Yeah,
season.
maybe I would like to eat my words. I just don't
It's
see
just that he's
anything.
so, I think he's good and he's young.
What
He's not
happened
brilliant.
what happened
He's not
was-
brilliant.
what happened with CM Punk is probably the best thing to have happened to him because he was able
think
to
when he-
manifest the character.
Yeah, getting the shit kicked out of you by your fucking angry straight edge coworker.
Yo,
is-
but like he spinned it into a storyline
Yeah.
after CM Punk left, all right. But he spinned it into a storyline. His heel character beforehand was the shit.
That was terrible.
It was absolutely
it
shit.
wasn't working.
He worked with Christian for so long. He was in a tag team with Luchasaurus, and I was like, "That's grand." Yeah, even when they won the tag team titles, I was like,
what was his vibe like? He was feuding with Hook and he came out to classical music.
Yeah.
"Yeah." And he was Berry in Jungle Boy, and now my name is Jack Perry, and
He was trying to cut promos.
Trying to look cool.
Going to New Japan did the world of good for him.
It really is.
getting his fucking ass kicked by CM Punk did the world of good for him because he was able to come up with a scapegoat character, which brings us on to the. Do you want to finish off on the
Yeah,
on the
so
three-way?
Hook pinned Jericho with the Judas effect. Grand, whatever. It was well laid out, and Jericho ate the pin. So I assume we're going to Hook Jericho for the FTW title again sometime pretty soon.
I think that combo between Shibata and Hook and Joe is fucking money up to
There's
keep it
mileage in
going.
there, yeah.
I hope they have some kind of civil war with the fucking Blackpool Combat Club. Fucking
I
scenario
think
there.
we'll go to see them with the Bang Bang Scissor Bang Gang.
What do you see in Hook? You see
Hook
something in Jack Perry,
needs-
like
no,
Hook's getting a big push.
He needs a mountain of reps.
Jeff Cobb is allowing him to be thrown by him and all that kind of
so
stuff.
he
Obviously,
needs-
seen
he
shit in
needs
them.
reps. He needs reps.
Everything
He has
is
charisma.
there. Everything is there. It's fucking great gimmick, great look, great moveset, great fucking lineage.
Yeah.
He's Taz for the fucking 21st century.
He's a good performer.
He's nor near Taz.
He's more marketable. He's like Taz cross with fucking. He's got Tom Holland fucking Alex Turner vibe going
kinda
on.
looks like
he looks like
both,
he looks like a real manga fucking character in real life.
He looks
He's
like a
taller
star,
than
like.
his dad. Like all the tangibles.
His
are
dad
there.
was a little beefy boy though.
Yeah, he's so young.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
young.
he's gonna beef
He's
up.
younger.
Like,
He's younger than any of them, apart from like say Dante Martin maybe. But like,
Yeah,
man,
he's similar age. Like, he's like 23, 24. Like
he's only going to peak in 5-6 years time.
He just needs a shitload of reps.
Reps to bait the band.
Like
Fair enough.
he's
there was talks of him going to WWE there.
Too soon. Too soon.
yeah,
Same as
no.
MJF. Too soon.
No, but getting thrown. MJF's not too soon.
I think he's too soon.
I think MJF's still what 28.
Yeah, I know.
In
But
3 years' time, MJF his contract will run out, and he'll
5
be,
years time.
He'll be.
He want you.
Is
if
it
you're-
5 year?
I don't know, but if I'm MJF, I'm like, if I'm going to WWE, I'm doing it at like 33 or 34.
That's exactly what you should do.
What Balor did.
Maybe even before that.
Was Balor was probably even a bit up. Man, no, Balor was probably about that age.
Yeah. Balor's been in WWE now 10 years.
Suppose, yeah.
MJF's got at least another 3 good years in AEW, I think.
Like there's so
Maybe
much
5
for him
years.
still to do. Where he gets to be the top guy.
Yeah.
Because if he goes to WWE now, he's not like there is a logjam there too in terms of Roman Reigns still has mileage.
There definitely is a jam there. Yeah.
Cody
there's
Rhodes
a jam
has
there,
mileage. Whereas he waits 5 years. In 5 years' time, Cody's mid-40s. Roman Reigns is retired.
The talking about the jam and just briefly touching upon it, the Money in the Bank that they have now seems wildly unpredictable, which is the complete contrast to this pay-per-view.
Fuck me, what did they do there? Like, I mean, looking at that on paper, that ladder match, it's a TNT title. Christian Cage and to his credit, Adam Copeland have been putting in fucking God's work to rehabilitate that title.
They went
After
fucking day 2 of them.
After the Wardlow, Sammy Guevara, fucking Hobbs, clusterfuck.
Yeah.
And those 2 veterans did everything they could to rebuild that belt for the last year plus, and then you get an opportunity for it where it should be. You know, I know Jay White couldn't do it, but like a caliber of Jay White.
Well, look, where Jack Perry is positioned at the moment, he's actually
Perry and Takeshita were the only ones who, in terms of the credibility, the wins they've amassed over the last year, the profile, what they could do to elevate a title that's been very elevated for the last year. No, he's the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah. He shouldn't have been in the match.
If he wasn't the Ring of Honor World Champion, absolutely.
Yeah, he shouldn't have been in the match. for that reason.
No.
Good performer.
Good performer.
No, but
And same with Dante Martin.
They were saying Logan Paul light. They were saying.
So
right, we'll get on to the ladder match then.
Why was Trent Beretta not in that? Like, he's had a big heel turn, part of Don Callis' family, hot performer,
would have been
having his first big singles run as a heel. Why is Trent Beretta in
He would have been a decent guy to put that title on.
Dante Martin, no build. There's never any build. There's never any story. There's never any interest. I know the guy is young. He's fucking great. All the potential in the world.
I actually think he's younger than Hook.
He is younger than Hook.
Malachi?
There's like, why is Malachi not in there? Why is Brody not in there? Why is Dustin Rhodes not in there?
Malachi was just competing for that title.
Like, there's so many big name heavyweights, like established guys, and they put in a lot of young guys that are not ready.
Do you know what I would have done?
That kind of slot.
Do you know what I would have done?
Where's Action Andretti?
Firstly, I wouldn't have done a ladder match, even though this match was good.
Tournament.
And it was fucking insane. No, I would have done one of those gauntlets that they've been doing on Dynamite that were fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That's how Kofi Kingston got over a gauntlet, wasn't it?
To do a ladder,
Yes.
to do a multi-man ladder match on a card where you got a load of Mexicans and you don't use any of the fucking Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like, that is the match that fucking Penta and Ray and Mystico should have been in.
Ray Phoenix and Penta are ladder match specialists.
Same as Christian Cage.
They're all guys who should want to win the TNT title and have the fucking value and the star power and the
Have
prestige.
Christian sell Kill Switch out there.
Like, why wasn't Christian in it? Why wasn't, like...
But Christian could have been like, I'm not competing. Kill Switch is going to win that title and give it to me again.
Yeah.
You know?
But I do think Jack Perry was the right winner, and it was a very good match.
It was the
only.
Which was...
So this is... If Takeshita hadn't been going to G1... there would have been, a bit of an appetite because the crowd were going fucking nuts.
Takeshi's fucking class.
Audio, fucking Jarrett, Utah. Like, there's so many fucking guys who would have been a better fit for that match than the people that put in it.
Squid Promotions messaged me. Squid is involved in a lot of video editing, works with Hard Knocks Pro Wrestling. He messaged, he goes, what allowed me to give me an opinion on the Instagram, but I hope this makes the cut. Jack Perry doesn't deserve a title around his waist. He isn't a good person or wrestler, and now that he's best buds with the Young Bucks, everyone likes him, and he's some sort of god that doesn't do wrong.
One of the hottest young heels in the company. He's the only one in his stable that doesn't have gold. They're the top heel stable in the entire company. I think he makes a lot of sense.
His scapegoat mask, look, you're talking about cheap Halloween stuff earlier. Looks like a cheap Halloween thing. And he looks like a child in his dad's coat.
His dad's dead.
I know.
Shane.
And if you had the fucking costume and the wardrobe that Luke Perry had for Beverly Hills 90210 and it's just lying around the gaff, why wouldn't you want to give it a fucking swing?
So it was like hanging over his fucking arms. There's just no, like, we talked about it, and I don't really like using
fully grown Shane. He's a boy. Leave him alone.
He looked like, when two kids get into their dad's jacket, one's on the shoulder, but one of the kids hops out. And then you're just left with all this fucking all this coat. That's what Jack
I
Perry
think
looked
your punk brand here now, your love of punk is overshadowing.
I just do not enjoy Jack Perry.
I don't love Jack Perry,
I liked his song,
but I think
when
he's
it
the
was
right
Tarzan
person
Boy.
to. That was awesome. But I do think
He's
he
not
has
even the right person to be in the elite.
I kind of feel like that as well.
Maybe.
He doesn't quite.
If he's a
fit.
scapegoat, he should be on his own.
He doesn't quite fit aesthetically with.
But you
Okada and the
also
Bucks.
know that he's like a nepo baby from like a Hollywood dad. That it suits. I think it kind of fits. It fits
in
with
that
Elite.
sense, but the way he presents
there's a
himself.
legitimacy to that. It's not
I
like
would-
MJF who's
I was looking at it. 'Cause
Playing the
remember-
rich kid.
Do you
Playing the
remember,
rich
do you
kid.
remember the WCW run that Raven had, and then they revealed that he's actually a rich kid,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nepo babe.
I thought that was an exceptional bit of business.
Yeah, and I was
Yes.
like, that would work
It was also
for Jack.
where you already know he is, you know what I mean?
Exactly. There's no big reveal, but he's like, oh god.
I'm trying to play this
Yeah.
tortured person when
yeah.
I come from loads of money.
Yeah, I was like-
it's like all these real life artists and poets who are from rich families.
Oh yeah, like fucking
you.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
But yeah, that's why I was. He doesn't fit with the
I
elite.
still think he's evolving as a performer, though. I think he's good.
That is true.
Yeah.
He's evolving. His gimmick has evolved because his heel turn after Jungle Boy was the absolute drizzling shit.
It was bad.
The fact that you said he was in the ring with Sonata. Sonata was like, who the fuck is this guy?
That was the worst IWGP
And that was only a year
I've ever
before.
seen until
Yeah.
this one going up.
At least this one is too fucking.
Two
like,
names.
this is Moxley and fucking Naito. This is two
Yeah, that
big
was Sonata
heavyweights
and
of
Jungle Boy.
profile.
Yeah, yeah.
Last year was Sonata and Joe, so that's an upgrade at least. anyway.
The match itself, cool deadlift brainbuster.
Like, it was fucking bonkers, the match.
Mark
like.
Briscoe
Yeah,
with
some
one
great
of the,
spots.
Mark Briscoe, that was my
I wrote Mark Briscoe as a maniac about 6 times.
like that flip on Takeshita with the ladder on him, and that was one of the best spots that I've seen in in a ladder match in a long time.
Yeah,
because
it was fantastic.
It was different. Now his next one, even though I understand and I appreciate it, didn't execute very well. Like to jump off
A
the
ladder.
visual on the apron, like the visual of that is cool.
Yeah. I seen a video afterwards, he actually posted himself, where the ladder moved as he was jumping.
Yeah, was anyone holding that?
Yeah, the ref was,
Yeah.
but it still jumped.
So that's
And
why he undershot.
He undershot by like that distance. That
and
it
I was
jumped.
like, he's just fucking edged himself.
I was going to say like he's knocked out all his teeth, but you know he don't have any.
He
fucking
just got
teeth, so.
he just got coped. He landed on his legs after jumping from a height.
And he's okay apparently. Like I don't know how.
Thankfully.
I don't know how there was no injuries coming out of this match. Actually, Leo Rush cancelled a few indie performances. I think he picked up an injury of some sort.
What was that from? The powerbomb onto the
That looked horrendous.
ladder.
Like there was like 6 spots in this match.
There's a lot of
where I was
gnarly
like,
spots in this match.
like this is like 4 matches from the top.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I just think these performers or AEW could have put on that casino gauntlet thing they've been doing. That match that they kind of landed on Dynamite a couple of months ago that has turned into, in my mind, that as now should be your version of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You found a match that has
I
sensation.
was writing in the dark, so like a lot of this doesn't make sense to me. Looking for Leo at ladder spot. Anyone remember what that is? No.
Were they looking around to see where he was?
Yeah, I think so. Was there a chance where like they were going up to grab the
Leo
belt
wasn't
and
there.
Leo wasn't there, or vice versa? Maybe I'm wrong, but I have that written down. The Blue Thunder Bomb.
was that the
Exceptional.
greatest? Was that the greatest table smash of all time?
Possibly.
Pretty awesome.
Like those 2 tables smashed
Clean.
into 1,000 tiny
Yeah,
little
there was
bits.
shards going up. It looked proper dramatic.
I was like, because like sometimes you know lads go through a table and it doesn't it's just cracks a little bit.
the momentum he got spitting him out of it, the landing
Yeah.
was perfect.
It was fucking brilliant table spot.
it really was top
Yeah.
tier.
But Jack Perry coming out winner.
Yeah, the right person.
And unfortunately, the only person who seems logical and is probably logical, the Elite have. They're all belted up now. All the boys are strapped up.
So far out of this pay-per-view, I've only got one prediction wrong. And the prediction I got wrong was Mina and Tony, because it was so obvious to me that Tony was going to win that I was like, if everything else is so obvious of who is going to be the winner, they might try and mix it up with and have Mina and Mariah. So that was the only doubt in my head.
I only got one wrong on the whole card.
And you said that the same reasoning.
Yeah.
So I've got all the
Now-
winners right from this. Is this, we've mentioned it,
Yeah.
predictability of AEW.
I
Is
find
it-
the same with WWE though. I predicted every single result on both nights of WrestleMania except that they split the tag
I
team
got
titles.
so many wrong.
It's not necessarily a bad thing to have
I
predictable
think
results.
in general
because-
that's logical booking.
But sometimes you need to like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes initially at WrestleMania 39 was the biggest piece of shit booking to me in my life. I fucking hated it. I was
And then they made up for it.
Then they made up for it. Yeah. And
Well, I think as well though, apropos of that. Apropos of that.
Hecatero.
There's a wonderful black and white film called Apropos Denise.
How would you fucking know?
I've never
How did you
seen.
know?
I've never seen.
What you do? Read about a fucking letterbox.
Letterbox.com.
Can't wait for a colour remake of this.
Yeah, I'm waiting on Michael Bay to remake it.
if Shingo said bet Danielson,
Hear me out.
or if fucking the Learning Tree won by beating Hook, and like they're, I don't think that
It would massively, make a big difference to their overall plans going forward.
exactly. Maybe Danielson would with the own heart.
Yeah, the Danielson thing is different, but the Hook
he
thing
can find a way
certainly-
to get back in there anyway. Be like, here, Tony, I'm Brian fucking Danielson.
I think all in this year, they're treating it more like the WrestleMania of the year, the way they should have done last year. So I think we're entering a stretch where everything's building towards all in. And much like generally around WrestleMania, obviously not every year, but generally around WrestleMania, in the build up to it, things get predictable because all the chess pieces have to be moved into
I've
place.
heard like Ospreay and Swerve already have designated opponents for All In, and they're not each other. And that's just reading fucking.
I think Swerve Danielson's a good steer.
I think
Who's Ospreay go against?
MJF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for what? Just
I know they said Garcia, but I can't see them doing that.
No, they're on tonight.
they're on Dynamite tonight,
Dynamite
which is
tonight.
last week.
Ospreay and no, I mean 'cause MJF and Garcia.
No. It'll be MJF and Ospreay.
MJF has already presented that match to Garcia.
Yeah, no, and then Ospreay will somehow.
Yeah.
So MJF loses then,
In Wembley,
does he win?
yeah, I think he loses in Wembley.
because Ospreay already won in Wembley against Jericho.
I think he
So
beats
the already
MJF
has
in
win.
Wembley.
Like, are they going to do a fucking Drew on it?
I don't know, but see this thing, like, and
Oh, they'll do it for that fucking Mickey Mouse title that he has.
the All Atlantic.
That one, or
that
the
the one he has?
international. That was the All Atlantic, and it had another name for a while.
But see, I think that's the thing about the predictability is it's predictable now, so that when we get to All In, it's not going to be predictable. Like you're going to have a Danielson Swerve main event potentially. We'll say, right? Let's say they go that direction. That's very hard to predict. If you're doing MJF Ospreay, that's incredibly fucking hard to predict. You're going to end up like you have to do the builds predictably to get the guys in positions.
you have to hit your beats.
Have to hit your beats. Like they do this a lot where, older WrestleManias, the 15, 16, 17s, a lot of them were up and down the card, super unpredictable, but because the right guys had been winning for the 3 previous months.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to Monet and Steph.
Fucking brilliant match.
Monet coming out with
fantastic.
the Imperium fucking Gunther music. Just maybe missed the. I like Gunther's music now.
Yeah, she's got that remix in there pretty well. It's fantastic.
CEO.
Yeah, just a great match and like
cool, real bouncing DDT.
Yeah, like
I've
what
never
a
seen that.
showcase for Stephanie Vaquer as well.
Yeah.
oh yeah, she
won
was
every-
she looked so badass.
She won
Fucking
everybody
brilliant.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the most badass Mortal Kombat character
Yeah.
come to life. She's absolutely
And
fantastic.
then Mercedes start getting the booze, but
she got the boost and she
gold.
leaned straight into it.
Straight into it.
And she fucking worked it
owned
like
it.
the pro she is.
Yeah.
did the little Eddie thing, and but I don't think it was because of the Boston thing. I think it was because Steph came
actually-
off so well.
When you had said it and I had said the Boston thing, I went back and I watched these 3 matches, the next 3 matches again today.
Okay.
And I don't think it was the Boston thing. I think that they just added that.
Yeah,
And
'Cause
also
a guy stood up in a Boston
with the
top.
Celtics
Yeah.
t-shirt, yeah. I think it's because Vaquer was getting over massively as a babyface, and the structure of the match. It was one of them matches where it's structured to make a person.
Yeah.
Mercedes is made, and she.
You think that's what it was?
I think the match was designed to get Vaquer over.
Really?
Yeah, I thought so.
Because if it was, it's a stroke of genius.
I thought so. Yeah,
I just thought it was just a natural way. It's just the way the thing.
I
Because
thought
I don't.
the flow of the match, the way the match was.
I don't think.
was
I
put
don't
together.
think. Mercedes. I'm already naturally calling her Sasha, but I don't think Mercedes would have. Like she leaned into it, but I don't. In my opinion, based on just fucking the way she conducts herself in interviews and stuff, I would have thought that she would have wanted to put herself over in a stronger way, as opposed to turning heel so early.
I think
but
what
she acts as a natural heel.
I don't think
But
she's gone full heel. I think she's just working with the crowd that she has, and I think she's
going to have to go full.
I think she will definitely at some point. When you heard that pop for Brit, yeah,
there's your moment. If I'm Mercedes there, I'm going, I can generate nuclear heat off babyface Brit.
yeah, I think so.
And we can do the biggest
program.
women's program in the history of AEW.
Well, the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest women's program, if they had stuck the course with that Outcast program that they started last year, I think being in a position now where fucking Mercedes was the Hulk Hogan of that outfit, and you really went full bore on the Outcast are just all ex-WWE women's wrestlers as a faction launching war on the AEW originals.
You can do that,
and that could have fed you for 2 years, and they fucked it.
What I think could have been great, or could still be great, is let's say let's say over the next few weeks now, Mercedes goes full heel on this, and Britt becomes that fucking mega baby face of the women's division, or even like there was a time where she felt like one of the biggest stars in the whole company when she was doing that death match with Thunder Rosa. You go down and Mercedes kind of builds a bit of a heel faction around herself, and Britt has to go about getting people.
Jamie Hayter comes back.
Good scope for that, yeah.
And then you can bring in the Thunder Rosa. What's Thunder Rosa going to do? She feels like almost an AEW original, not quite, but feels like it.
Yeah.
Can she put her differences and history with Britt aside in order to fight off the Mercedes?
Do you like Mercedes' finish? Before we finish off,
I was delighted she went back to the bank statement to actually finish them.
So was I thought that was very slick in the way that they did it. Overall, a really good match though. It was great to see
and
Britt
this
back.
is where I was saying with Britt coming back afterwards, this is now where I feel like the women's division in AEW is something they have over WWE at the moment, and they need to lean into it for that reason. They currently have, and also, right, yes, they brought in Mina from Stardom, and they had Tam Nakano and Watanabe on the undercard, Zero Hour. But like, with the relationship they have with Stardom now, you still have Mayu Iwatani, who they haven't used, who is a lot of people consider the best female wrestler in the world. They have Azumi, Starlight Kid. There's so much unbelievable Stardom talent that they haven't presented to their audience yet.
I think they need to focus on what they have now, though.
I agree, but supplementing it every now and again with some of these people, like the Mina Shirakawa thing really worked.
I know, but I think that's an issue with AEW. It's like, we have a new figure. We're going to play with that now. We're going to play with our new toy.
Lads, to be honest, I say, like whoever wins the Owen Hart on the women's bracket this year, I would say absolutely pop for them getting purely Jerry Lawlered by Natty Neidhart at the end of it. Like proper.
Would you like to see Natty in?
I think Natty emerging in the context of the Owen Hart tournament is the fucking gold shot for her.
I think she's a free agent.
They don't have enough veterans. They're not using Mercedes Martinez very well. I think Natty Neidhart would be a great get.
I see.
Again, talk about people who are exhausted. Like I was talking about Sammy Guevara going maybe the other way.
Yeah, for Natty.
Natty's done everything she can do in WWE. She's got a job there to go back to.
All they do now is bring her in for a 6-minute match.
Yeah, and like she has value, but I think she'd actually be way more valuable to AEW.
Agreed, yeah. If you stuck her in with the Mercedes Vernado,
I don't know. Well, he's a road agent.
But that's what they're saying. Tyson Kidd going over.
But
apparently he's people really speak very highly of him. Putting matches together and stuff.
But Natty's been she's been on the full-time roster since 2009.
Yeah, since DH Smith and
when
Tyson
they
Kidd
came in as the Hart Dynasty, like. She's the longest tenured, I believe. Maybe her and Tamina, but Tamina isn't.
Is Tamina still there?
I think she's under contract. Yeah.
Really?
Job for life. Yeah.
Say what?
Yeah.
We're going.
Knows where the bodies are buried.
we're going to Naito and Mox, and there's not really much to say about that one. This
was sad.
Like this is going on quite long, and we do have Ospreay and Swerve. Just Naito and Mox. Mox looked really refreshed, but like it wasn't.
Naito is
finish fell apart. They made a fucking Swiss Hames of that finish.
What was that?
Naito's bet. I tell you what happened, right? They don't have the best chemistry anyway, stylistically. This definitely the second time I've seen him kind of shit the bed. But Naito is fucked. And New Japan haven't done anything to build up the young guys behind them, and they're going into the G1 now.
This is the previous reign, not Tanahashi.
Before Tanahashi. So Tanahashi, this G1, this year's G1 that's starting in a few weeks is the most important G1 they've had probably since Tanahashi won it 18 years ago. Like, that's how desperate the situation is. None of the young guys, Yota Tsuji, Shota Umino, Yui Uemura, Ren Narita, none of them are ready.
Can you watch, right, because I'm fucking tapping out now with this. Even talking about it now, I'm almost tapped out. Can you watch this live 4 hours uninterrupted? Because I had to watch it in 2 different fucking segments.
I watched it uninterrupted.
And remember when I was talking about WWE and like the 20-minute fucking promo packages? I know why now. Because they know they need to give people a chance to fucking look at their phones, go for a piss, do whatever they fucking need to do. That's your time gap. And then you're focused just solely on the match. I'm looking at this being like...
But this was a shit match, though. That's why.
Yeah.
If this was a 20-minute banger,
according to JR, they're the 2 best wrestlers in the world.
I couldn't believe he said
and
that.
Speaking,
he said it 10 minutes into the shittest match of the night. Like.
And then said it in the main event as well. These are the 2 best. It was nice to hear JR. Taz does my head in.
I love Taz.
Moxley was no selling shit and stuff. Just wasn't a great match. Naito was the champion. Should have just left
that being said, it was still, even just by their sheer presence in Star Wattage alone, it was a big improvement on the IWGP title match last year.
Jack Perry and Sonata.
Yeah. I actually liked Mox looked really refreshed.
He did. He actually looked great. He looked in great shape as well.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah.
And then we're right at the end. Ospreay and Swerve, like what with 2 old OTT alumni.
Yeah,
I've seen.
I was thinking about that. Like, saw those guys so regularly in OTT. Like, then you're seeing them like top level pay-per-view.
Like who
fantastic match.
Who the fuck is on this? We don't talk about David.
Scotty Davis versus
Devlin and Walter.
Devlin and Walter, both WWE. There's fucking
Miko Satomura versus Seshmat.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
Scotty Davis. I was in the ring with him the other day. It was nuts. Debbie Keitel and
You're only 1 step removed from being in the ring with Jushin Liger. That's absolutely nuts.
Jushin Liger, infamously the Kevin Bacon of pro wrestling.
6 degrees to Jushin Thunder Liger. But like, it's just amazing that we got to see him on
and to see them perform on this level, cracker of a main event. I thought the finish was exceptional in every way. The use of Prince Nana, the use of Callis further in that storyline.
Do you like the screwdriver thing? I didn't think it was necessary.
Loved it, yeah.
Because so this kind of got my goat. Like Ospreay's camera stuff to camera is fucking amazing. Just little winks and the way he looks at him and stuff. But what got my goat is he's been refusing to do the Tiger Driver, right? And then he was finally going to the well. And he's going to do the Tiger Driver and Swerve reversed or whatever. And then the screwdriver came into it. Like, would he it would have worked without the screwdriver if Callis is telling them to do the Tiger Driver instead, because that was the story beforehand.
Yeah, but the screwdriver is a callback to last year's Forbidden Door.
I know what it is.
Either of them can work. Like,
I think it's a fucking shitty weapon prop anyway. But I would have just preferred Ospreay to show the hesitancy towards the Tiger Driver.
Yeah, I did feel that as well.
As opposed to his own volition, because that was built up as a story. He didn't use it and won, and Takeshita took down Collis' vice in the last fucking pay-per-view and lost.
Yeah.
But
he didn't do what Callis told him this time and lost. Now, I thought there's a few things here, right? The build in this is as good a build as you can do in a face versus face.
Yeah.
I thought the build was exceptional, and that paid off in the ring with the heat of the crowd. The crowd were fucking heated for this. I was like, this feels like a fucking Stone Cold versus Rock Mania 15 type match. I thought the crowd were all on board. Then the match itself was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, like the Styles clash, there's a really cool sequence leading up to the Styles clash. That swerve bump for the Hurricane Rana off the fucking off the barricade.
And then the pile driver later onto the barricade.
Yeah, like it's just, did you ever look at something so good that you just feel shit about yourself? Like, you know, when you see like a really good comedian do stand-up comedy and you want to be a stand-up comedian, you're like, I suck. There's so many levels to this.
This felt to me as well like an era-shifting match.
Yeah, I get
like
that.
Here now we have our 2 top guys. This is the match in my mind that made Swerve as the top guy as well.
Yeah.
And I also think that this match, whenever I said I'd get back to MJF, this match right here kind of laid down the marker to MJF of cut the shit now, because this is the fucking standard.
This is the style.
Yeah, this is AEW. And this is what AEW is supposed to be from the start.
I would have loved that if Swerve finished off Ospreay with the Tiger Driver.
That would have been cool.
I thought that would have been a really
It was
nice
such
story.
a great
But
house call, though.
You can't say anything. Like, even like Swerve standing up on the ropes, calling the ref before he hit the move.
Yeah.
A beautiful, fucking unbelievable match. And all things told, despite all the criticisms that we may have, or that I certainly have of it, an enjoyable pay-per-view. Again,
Overall, look, this pay-per-view had its ups and downs. Main event is without a shadow of, I think it was the second best match I saw this year.
What's the best?
Dynasty and Ospreay, still for me. I felt like that just stylistically pushed boundaries that no other match did. And then I would say my third favourite match, probably the first Styles Cody match.
In Backlash,
Leon, yeah. Not
where do you lie on this pay-per-view?
I thought it was really great. I just don't think they miss on pay-per-views at all.
don't, they don't.
I don't think it was the strongest Forbidden Door. I don't think they bolstered it with strong enough storylines coming in, but I think they did just enough to keep the interest going into the rest of the summer.
It was the main event. It didn't. I don't say it saved the card, because it was a decent card up to that point.
Yeah.
But the main event turned it from, this is a good card, to another great pay-per-view by AEW.
Yeah, I just feel bad that it was a AEW versus AEW. I feel like a cross promotional match. Unfortunately, I know like New Japan don't have the fucking juice, but
for their main event, it was AEW versus AEW.
But it was a fantastic match.
Ospreay still has those New Japan
links. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, well, that's been the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show. It's been a long episode. Thank you very much if you managed to listen. Like, share, subscribe to the podcast. Let other people know about the podcast. We love making them. We're going to keep making them. I've been the big beefy boy, Shaz Beef. He's been an old buck, and there's the Kenny Omega of the crew.
Diverticulitis.
I've got diverticulitis.